Okay, morning team. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're all good. All right, we're starting to see what we expected in this market. We talked about it the last few days. We were running out of room at this top Bollinger Band. All right, and we were coming up to the sort of max move possible. We don't expect closes outside of that. So we never quite got up to the 900 yesterday. And you can see today we're opening up an outside bar underneath the 5-day, underneath previous day close, underneath previous day low, coming back towards a balance range. We're not there yet, but towards a balance range, which we did here. Okay, we can expect the market to try and produce a higher low anywhere in front of this. In fact, if it wants to come deeper, it can. But the longer we sort of do this, the 20-day is going to catch up. That would be the reset, all right, for the mean reversion. So this is all acting accordingly. All right, this is doing what we expect. The only unfortunate thing is I was asleep when it did the move, which was the highly probable move that we were looking for yesterday. But great thing about having a Discord is lots of the guys in that Discord caught it. So let's have a look at where we are and what we're looking at. But so far, outside bar on the NQ, downside pressure. All right, we'll come to the hourly chart. I'm going to look at value. Just going to bring this up a little bit. Okay, so here was yesterday. All right, that was the big sell. We created liquidity in here. I said to you that liquidity will be used. Unfortunately, they used it in Globex. There it is being used, and then they failed to get back inside. All right, very simple, isn't it? How clean that is. Support became resistance. It's super obvious, super clean. It's not an unpredictable market right now, as some are saying. It's very predictable. It's being very, very nice with how it's moving. And from there, we've got downside pressure. So what's the problem right now? Well, the good things are we're leaving previous day's value. So we've left all those buyers we talked about stuck. I did talk to you about this. We're leaving these buyers stuck up here. We're now leaving current week's value. So all the buyers in here are now stuck as well. And we're starting to vacate lower. What's the issue? The issue is our location. All right. Momentum's clearly sliding, but the issue is our location. We've already hit some of the key targets I would be looking for downside. So the easy money short was this. All right, that is your easy money short. There's your SBR, there's the sell, there's previous week value area high. That was our first target. It's hit. All right, trains left the station. So what we need to be cognizant of now is this is an area to cover where buyers may want to defend. I'm not saying they do defend it. I'm saying it's an area they may want to cover. We knew that before, and we've come right down and we found a bid. So the question we're going to ask this morning is very simple. Are buyers going to maintain holding previous week value area high and get a lift? All right. If they're going to do that, where is it sellers are likely to come in? That's the real question we have to ask. So I'm going to watch sort of this 350 to 400 zone, all right, to see if buyers get stuck there and we get a resell. I'm also going to watch right back up here, 450 to 500, which is current week's value area low, and it's where we built that liquidity overnight. So the two rejection points for me, if we're going to move lower, are here and here. Now, what I would say now is these shorts, I will be covering a good chunk of my money into previous week value area high. Because what I've seen so far this morning, it might be different in the New York session, is we're not finding acceptance back inside previous week's value. Not yet. So if we see one of these or one of these, I'll be covering some here. If we then can stay heavy versus this, I'll look for the overnight lows and then see if we can extend down towards this fat node, 30,100 to 30,000. That's what I would like to look for. Now, there's a caveat to that. I don't want to be too aggressively bearish if this market is simply saying we're not coming back inside previous week's value. So if we see this and they start to hold, right, this is your cue to get long on the way back up. Now, I'd argue it's an H1 counter trend. I'd argue that we're breaking down, but it's very possible we need to come back and back test this. So for those of you who are very bullish or you like playing this counter trend leg, you would be looking for something like this to hold, a failure to take out this low, all right, would be your key that shorts are getting stuck at the low, and that will be the rotation back up towards current week's value area low. All right, I don't expect us to move through that, but if we did, we're going to go straight back into yesterday's range. I find that unlikely, but not impossible. If we look at what happened overnight, all right, you can see we basically built out a range. All right, so yesterday we built out a range here. We broke the range overnight. We built out a new range. We broke the range, okay? I need to see if we're going to reject this range. It's that simple. Are we going to reject that range? If we reclaim that range, we are squeezy McSqueezerson to the upside, right? If we reclaim that whole range. Okay. Right, let's go through some of the other indexes. It's important that you know what's moving. Like I said in Discord, those of you yesterday would have caught it. We had a weakened market. I even put it on X, all right? The broadening of the market got worse yesterday, not better. The only things that held this market up were the semis. They're now selling off. We're starting to see a rotation into some other names. Okay, so trading ES is kind of clean here. It's pretty good. All right, here's your top side range. There's your failure to break out. There's the dump. There's the downside. All right, it's pretty simple. You're watching sort of 70s, 75s here, all right, to see if they reject that. And then you're covering into the current. I would say if you get that 75 rejection, cover some into 50s, cover some into the 20s, and then or 30s, and then see if you get the breakdown. If they reclaim this and hold it, then they go back into this range again. So I'd say basically 750s are your under over right now for the ES. If you're watching ES, there or thereabouts. All right, those are your under overs. Spiders, same kind of story. And you can see we're coming back into this key level here, and we've broken down from this key level here. All right, so that's the same kind of thing. 755 ish, somewhere up there or in front of that. Failures in front of that, I'd be covering some into 750s, low 750s, holding to see if you get a breakdown underneath overnight. If you do, great. You can try and wash all these stops who look pretty prime to be taken out here. So I'd say 748s would be my target. So if you can get a 755-ish rejection, all right, wash back down, watching 52s, watching 48s, under 48s. Look at this. They put a put wall in down at 45. So they are expecting a potential flush today. If you see a reclaim up here and they don't come lower and they hold this bid, we're going to go straight back upside. Qs, same kind of story. You can see where I've drawn this out before. All right, we're coming right back into, here's our RBS zone, resistance became support. All right, and I'd say this is the top side of the range. This is where support became resistance. All right, so we're leaving these buyers trapped. Ideally, fails at 740 or beforehand. So drive up towards 740, looking for failures up there. All right, for a flush back down, covering 35s. If you see a breakdown under here, then we can look for the bottom side of this range. It might be asking an awful lot. It doesn't have to happen in one day. Remember what I'm drawing out. Any reclaim up here of 740s, uber bullish. Uber bullish. All right, so I'm going to set, I'll set a price alert just in front of it. In fact, let me clean this up first and then do it. Get out of my way. Okay, VIX starting to find a bid out of these two boxes. All right, like we talked about, this is possible. So I'll be watching VIX today to see if it can hold bids in towards these 16s for this move. That would be a sign of a potential risk off market. If we lose the 16s and come down, obviously that would be the market probably reclaiming its range and moving upside. Crude, let's have a quick look. I mean, nothing to do here. It's trying to see if it can find a bid out of the low side right now. Right, a bit of a W formation. If it finds that bid, it's got to get going. It's already filled its gap. You need to see a break over 97s. I'm not convinced we're going to see that today with what's going on in the broader market. Right, this is the one that matters. SOXL. Okay, peak formation at highs. We have 2 days of trap buyers up there now. If we leave them trapped, I'll be watching for a 57 rejection, 57, 58 rejection. Up here for this move back down, right? You can see we're basically into that RBS zone. So I don't want to be short down here. I'm going to need to see a lift and failure. All right, and then we're going to sell if we fail up here at 58s, and we're going to be covering into 40s and looking to see how low it comes. Again, same story with the rest of the market, really. If we reclaim 58s here, we're going to see that upside move. So we can set a price alert around here as well. We'll set it at 57s just inside. There we go. Okay, let's watch the mag. All right, strength today is in Apple, Amazon, and Meta. All right, so Apple gapping up. If we just zoom this out, remind ourselves where we are. That was a good hold. So we did grind, 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 wash, drive out, hold. It's a strong hold. This might want to get going. And remember, this does not have the same exposure to AI the other companies do, which is why this thing will go higher and higher and higher. Amazon, I think, is still undervalued. All right, for me, I think this is an undervalued stock. We needed a cool off and a reset. We came into an RBS zone. We'll see if they hold the bid here. If they can't hold the bid here at 45s, you can see we can come right back down. So I'm watching to see how we act here. So far, it's a really good reaction into this. We are still under pressure. So I'm going to wait. I'm already long this from ages ago. If we can hold 45s anywhere down here and then start to reclaim, I'm going to start looking to try and add into my swing longs. If we start to reject here and come lower, obviously there's no add opportunity. Goog, got to get through these. Still remains weak. This is the zone I'm waiting to see how we act if we come down here. Still building out a range. That is a no touch. It's certainly not a buying opportunity yet. Buying opportunity will need to come with strength above this. So far, they are continuing to sell pops. We're building out a range of liquidity. It will make its decision one way or another down here. Meta, stronger today. All right, rebound day. There's the compression, failed to break lower. Shorts get trapped. There's the rip out. Do we see continuation up into this top side of the pool? Right, this is where buyers were stuck. So we're seeing a reaction there yesterday. First tap in, support became resistance. Very simple, isn't it? And let's see if they reclaim for upside or if we're going to come right back down to 607s. We'll be watching that at the open because that's one of the ones that was trying to show some strength, which is kind of getting a little bit stuck. Microsoft, weak for the formation, weak on the formation, gapping up. We're watching here. All right, I'm still long in this. We'll see if we reject 36s or if we reclaim, then we're going to get going. If we zoom out, we have come into a bit of a base here, which is good. I've got to get a move on here. We've got 2 minutes left. So we're starting to see if we can get a reaction on this base. Nvidia will be weak with the semis. All right, weak with semis, gapping down, big sell. 17s is your over under today, and Tesla as well, 420 chop. No change there, right? It's what we always expect. 420 is your under over, it's where it loves chopping. Okie dokie. Right, let's see what we get. Oh, was I on the wrong one? Oh, fuck me. Did that go to the wrong screen that whole time? Man, my fat finger on this keyboard. I'm so sorry. Well, hopefully you could hear it. Basically, all you need to know, everything's weak other than Apple, Amazon, and Meta. That's it. That's the score right now. We're seeing weakness other than Amazon, Apple, and Meta. Everything else is weak right now. You got 90%. Oh, that's all right then. It's not so bad. Just the fat fingered my keyboard on the hotkeys then at the end. All right, so I'm watching this area, this area, this area. Really simple. Ideally, we lift first at open, not a straight sell, but we'll see. Semis are getting absolutely hammered before the open here, folks. They are getting absolutely obliterated, hammered before the open here. Coming back down towards their low of days. Not opening in the best position. Ideally, we lift first. Let's see. Doesn't look that way to me. Right, semis approaching low of day, overnight lows. If we just let go of this whole market, it's going to be kind of hard to trade. There's the 240 tap on semis. Love to see a lift here first. If we don't get it, we're going to have to wait and see if we lose overnight. This is your overnight sort of level here. In fact, we can bring this up to this. That's the first tap into it. Get some volume on here. There we go. Okay. All right, semis came into pre-market low, 240s. They're still hanging out there. They might crack here. If they crack here, you're going to see weakness. If they find a bid here and like wash and trade inside, maybe we can get that lift back up to some of these areas of interest for us. Don't want to be a seller down here right now. So holding this grey box for now. Can we come up to previous week value area high and make a decision up there? It's a rejection of New York Open there. Big rejection of New York Open there. Semis are doing a nasty dance. They're under 240s. Rest of the market's trying to bid up. Amazon, Apple, Google, Meta, Microsoft all caught a bid here, folks. All right, Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft all caught a bid here this morning, team. Be aware of that. Like I said, rotation starting. I don't want to be short down here, remember. I'm looking to see if we can lift higher first. I'm not trying to trade the long. I just want to see shorts get squeezed out and then look for the long. Okay, back inside 240s on the semis. Put wall 2 holding up pretty well here so far around here. I want to see it lift first. If we can lift first, squeeze everyone out, I will start to perk my interest. But I have to be patient here. What is the breakdown level? I want to remind myself. That's the bigger one up here. Make this red just so I remind myself. Is this not linked anymore? Yeah, it should be. The red one? Oh, there it is. All right, let's see. This is good. This is better. Higher the better right now. Okay, all of the MAG other than NVIDIA now green on the day. Waiting to see if we can get a bid on software as well. So rotation's taking place. We're going back into safer names, out of the semis into everything else. Here comes the drive. So 350s, remember 350s I'm interested in, 450s I'm interested in, even 400. So 350s to 400, 450s, did I say? Yeah, to 500. Those are the levels I'm interested in right now. Surprised they haven't got up to 350. There's a ton of liquidity set up there saying come and take me right now. And then VWAP up there as well. Yeah, and we can come and take some of these guys. Hopefully higher the better here, folks. Okay, SOXL really bidding aggressively, trying to get towards its 250 level now. Bid still flying in here. We're back above previous week value area high. So buyers, if buyers start to defend that, they're going to look to drive this up towards 400, 450. Here's the 350. Now, can I get through this? Go 400, 450. I'm just being patient here. I want to wait for the first 5 minutes. I did say it beforehand. Wait to see the reaction. Wait to see if this is a morning squeeze, which is sold into, or if dips start to be absorbed versus previous week value area high. Here's 350. Still liquidity higher if they want to go 450. Wick to wick here on the hourly. Yeah, so I'd say first rejection zone is from right about now up to 400. And they can reject that. If they don't reject that, we're going to go right the way back up, in my mind, potentially to 450. So from here to 400 is a potential resistance kind of point. And if they don't reject that, then we are going to go right the way up to 450 in my mind. We're just waiting to see here. Where's gap fill? Oh my God. No, we're not doing that. I don't think we're doing gap fill. Okay, rejection there. Watching this now. So VWAP rejection. Still holding the bid here. Okay, they want to climb up and clear this liquidity. It's a ton of liquidity still up at 380. If they fail to make a new high here, it would be an indication that buyers are a little bit exhausted on this morning squeeze. Okay, I'm short with a little piece, just a small piece, because I know they can come and clean out liquidity higher still. I know we're in front of previous week value area high, but I just need a little piece of risk on for a taste here so I can see what we're doing. If we keep holding these 300s, I'll just take it off. It's small size here. There we go. Testing these 300s. Can we get through this guy? Very nice. If we hold this, I'll take it off. Like I said, if we hold the 300s, I'm out. I want to see us travel under 280s. We've got to stay heavy at 300s here, just because it's where big selling keeps coming in. There's a 300 test. Right, I paid myself a little piece. See if we can get under 300 now. Do not want this to come back above 30s here. Just about staying in this for a second. There's a little battle here. You can see it developing in this range. They can do a new leg higher if they really, really, really want to here this morning. As in like a second leg, because we've only done one push. They're still holding 300s, liking this less and less and less. De-risking here some size. ES looks strong. SOXL, big rejection, 250. So that thing's trying to break down. So 250 to 240 is the rotation, SOXL. MAG looking very, very strong here this morning, catching a bid. And if they do a second leg, this is the target where they're going to come. I'm now out of this. Like I said, I'll cut over these up here into 30s. Can always get back in. I was just short on this failure up here, trying to see if we'd break threes. Right, for this move here, we've held this node. My anticipation now is that they do a second leg. 1, 2, and then I'll reassess on that second leg when we get up there. Here they go, second leg. Okay, so we have a look here at 400s. Hardest thing in the market right now is we have all this strength coming from semis for a few days. We sell semis and then we go, right, we buy the MAG, which are worth even more than semis. We're not seeing a full risk-off market. It's not like they're selling everything. They're selling very, I don't want to say overvalued, but overextended sectors only, basically. Okay, still liquidity for them to clear out here at 380 and above. Remember, 400 is where they can go. Previous week close is up at 404s as well. Semis held that bid. They're just chopping now. 250 to 245 chop now. That's dreadful. ES looks like it wants to close its gap, in all honesty, which is very strong. Buyers need this under 330s. I mean, sellers need this under 330s. That's where they keep getting absorbed, right here where we are right now. This is there. It seems to be a key level here at the moment, the edge of this shelf, 330s to 300s. It will hurt my interest if we move under it, but honestly, I'd rather we move higher at this point after the shuffle they've just done. There's still absorption here at 330. Sellers are trying to get through here. They can't. Here they go again trying. They can't. There's a buyer absorbing there at 330. That's a level right now. If buyers keep absorbing there, they're going to look for that 380, 400 push, the next grey box above you. If buyers can't absorb 330s and they give up, then we're going to go back to 300s. Under that, we're going to see some weakness. Still can't get under 330s here. Here they're going again now with aggression. All right, let's see how they act here. I really don't want to be a seller here, but it might not give me a choice. So back above 330, so they're still absorbing. This is a bit of a shuffle right now. I want to lean on this market for the sell, but I either need it up here or to keep under this block now. And it's going to be very tricky how they've set this up. If 330 rejects, I'll consider it. It's not ideal. And that's just the way they're building this out. VWAP to VWAP, we're stuck between the two VWAPs. All right, here we go. A little piece on there on that rejection. Nice, there we go. All right, let's see if we can get New York open now. And previous week value area high to 280s, covering a piece here. And we need 330s to stay heavy here. Any reclaim of that will be a problem for us playing sell side. Looks good for a breakdown here. Trying to get down to a previous week value area high. I've got some covers out here in New York open to see if we can fill them. Comfortable all the time we're under 330. Here we go. Beautiful. All right, filled one here. Previous week value area high. Now, if we get a reaction here, that's a sign that we're not willing to trade inside previous week's value. If we dump this, then I'm going to expect new lows. Beautiful. Beautiful. Fantastic. Fantastic. There's 50 points. Can we come lower? New York open here. You can cover some here. SOXL looks like it wants new lows as well. $240 key SOXL. I'd love a new lower day here. I'd love them to let go of this New York open, this blue line on our screen. Here we go. Let's fucking go. All right, beautiful. I just had to be patient today. Let's see if we can get down. Here's your put all 2. If we come under here, we're going to see new lows. So we're short from the breakdown under this shelf. All right, we've covered some here. We're looking for this. And if we really get going today, we're looking for this. That will be our final target today. I'm not expecting us to necessarily do that unless they start selling the mag with the semis. Just required a little bit of patience here. Once they had that failed follow through up here, that was the indication for me that buyers were a bit exhausted in this leg. So they had to do that little second leg trap high. You see how I got short and took it off? I don't know where it was. A short, covered some, took it off, let it peak out, short again. This time it works, right? I'm not fighting it. I'm sticking with the main thing. If you're like, why are you getting short? What's the main trend here, right? We've broken down outside. We're coming down. Failure started. This can still be a breakdown. So runners now, and we will see, folks, like how low are they willing to take this today is the question. It will only, in my mind, it's only going to puke if they start letting go of everything. What I mean by that is the moment semiconductors are approaching low of day, mag and everything else is caught a bid. So we want to see everything sell together if we're going to go risk off. Okay, coming back down into these 230s, you can cover some here into this grey box, and we're just going to see now if they want to break. ES about to find, well, could potentially find a bid here on its New York open as well. So relative strength there still in the ES, to make you aware. SOXL starting to let go now. So we'd like pops to just start failing, and ideally we get a new lower day. I don't want this back above 60s now, really. So I want value area low to reject here. I want all these areas to reject. Otherwise, we're going to come right back up to 80s. I don't really want to hold up there. It's good rejection in front of 60s. Can we make a new low now? Nice. Let's go. Accelerate now. Don't fuck around in this box. Go, 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 go. I want new lows. I'm looking for new lows. Come on. Come on. Do it. Fucking do it. Dump this bitch. Do it. Dumperama. Everyone do your dump dance, whatever that looks like. Pray to the short lord. Here we go. There, thank you. All right, covering a bit here. Runners now. We see how far we can go down. Oh my God, did Alex just get you another 100 points in the first 15 minutes? I think he did. I think he did. Is that every day this week now? We've had 100 points in the first 15 minutes. It might be. Oh my God. We are swimming. Let's go. All right, covering grey box, and these are the next TPs. All right, I'd love to see down here. We don't have to do that today, but that would be a reset of the previous week's range. Remember, this is still naked. We haven't come to that yet, so it's still naked. Lock it in. Pay yourself. Runners only. Thanks very much. Thanks for playing the game. Thanks for playing the game. Next. Can I go back to sleep? Well, I don't want to keep day trading long term. I mean, I'll do it all the time, but like, I actually prefer swing trading to day trading. I prefer position trading more than anything. It's just so easy. It's so much less stress. All right, we need to see if SOXL pushes up and rejects 240s here. ES trying to catch a bid on VWAP and it's put wall 1. Be aware of that. And if we don't reject up here at New York Open, we go squeeze back up. Remember, we've cleaned out the lows out of this now, and we'll see. If they want to reject New York Open, great. If they don't, here's the 240 check. So watching this now up towards this New York Open, if they're going to reject it or not. If they don't and they trade inside, we're going to go screaming right back to the upside. So basically, 70 and 80 has to stay heavy for rejections for us to make new lows today. Otherwise, all they've done is clean out the lows and they're saying, no, we're not willing to move lower. So I'll wait to see if we reject in the drive up, which I think is inevitably going to come. Yes, good hold of 24-hour VWAP back to New York VWAP. So we're back in these old, this is like 2-3 weeks ago when we do the VWAP dance on ES in the morning. All right, here we go. New York Open, previous week value area high about to be tested. If they don't sell this, we're going to go screaming straight back up to 320s. Here's the 240 test on SOXL. Strength in ES, as we talked about. Here is the level. They're going to have to reject this, sellers, if they want to make new lows today. Otherwise, we're going to go back inside above previous week's value, which will be a problem for sellers. That's why we covered the lows. So it's here. Either they sell this or we're going rip faces upside on a morning little shove up. And they can go 310s, 320s if they want. SOXL back inside of 240. 245 is the next level for it to back test. Sorry, watching our side monitor down here. So far, so good. It's a decent rejection there. They can still set a higher low here. I'm going to wait for sellers to come back under 250 if I'm going to have another go at this. They're still supporting the bid here at 250 right now. I'm not convinced we're done yet for the move higher. There you go, still going higher. It's crazy, isn't it? ES looks like it wants high day. Such different indices right now. All right, if they don't reject here, then there's no shorts for the session. They have to reject here and move lower, otherwise no more shorts for the session. It's a good rejection. All right, I'm putting peace on here, and I'll add if we break 250. Are you going to break 250s? You know it's important. I know it's important. You know it's important. Are you going to break it for me? Bit of absorbing there. Okay, here we go. Starting to try and add into pops now. Yeah, nice. So adding into pops now, looking for a breakdown. Nice. Thank you. Covering a piece at these lows in case they set a higher low here. And we'll see if we can get a continuation. I want to see it stay heavy now, 250 to 265. I'm not going to risk back up push it back up if they're going to hold. Back under 240s SOXL. ES still holding the bid. This is the divergence going to make this very hard. Can tell you, but hopefully we get a breakdown here. But the divergence is, without a doubt, going to make this tricky. Come on, let's make some new lows again, and then let's just like start breaking outside the opening range. Come on, come on. Big boy buyer just stepped in there at 34s. We need to get back under those 30s again. Come on, get out of my way, buyer. Here comes the break. It's coming. Come on. Come on, step on the gas. Oh my God. They did all the hard work there, the sellers, to break it down and then give it up. ES being a problem here. All right, not interested now. Not interested. They had the chance there. Oh, wait, let it build up liquidity before I do anything else again. They had the chance to break down aggressively under 30s. They failed. And ES is holding this market up, and SOXL's back at 240s. Yeah, don't want to touch this now, short side. Not for a minute. Let it do whatever it is it needs to do for a minute. They had the chance there. They absolutely had the chance to sell that, and they failed miserably to sell under 230s. Worth being aware of that they failed to sell under 230s there. ES about to approach high day here. That's the problem right now. It's the rotation. We sell semis and then we buy everything else. So the indexes won't move in alignment right now. It's been like that for quite a while. Okay, software finding bid. Software gone red to green, which is good for our swings. Here's the squeeze back up. Like I said, we don't sell this now because they've caught the bid at 230s. And let this do whatever it is it needs to do. They might need to go bonkers on this now. There are good strong selling at low of day potentially caught. We are still inside the range for current day. It's still possible they can come and back test these if they really want to. Their bulls will now want to hold over here, over 85s. If they're truly going to rotate back up. ES about to take high of day. In fact, it just did. Did it wick it? Or it's got a double top high? No, it's not quite yet. So I think ES might want to close the gap here. That's how strong ES is. It's looking for a gap fill higher. Oh my God. Back to these 230s, is it? I'm not going to sell this unless we either squeeze or we come under all this and stay heavy. I don't want to chop in this range here for a minute. I want to avoid this range here for a minute. Big rejection, SOXL, 245s. Did ES take the high there? No, didn't. No excess liquidity at the high on ES. Okay, watching this now again at 30s if they're going to stay heavy. Remember, this is where they caught the bid. They keep catching the bid at 30s at the moment. Big rejection, SOXL. They're trying to catch the bid at 30s again here. We're just inside range for the current day at the moment. We're not leaving. This is a big high volume node. I don't want to trade here anymore. I'm trying to trade under it. Or if we go rip higher and we see like a big rejection at like 450s or something. Or 400, 450s. All right, we're under it again. All right, I'm perking my interest again here now. If they can't hold this for the sell again. Very violent down here. Buyer trying here. Here he goes. Look at this zone. Awful zone. Can we see follow through under 30s? Here's the retest. That buyer just got caught. If we break down now, I'm going to get short because that buyer got caught. We've got to break down though. They're still absorbing 30s. We've got to break down under this. Otherwise, there's no play. $30s. Can we break down underneath this zone or not? It's where sellers keep getting stuck. So I need to see us move away from this to the downside. Otherwise, I'm not trading it. And I'm not trying to catch bids on a market which is weak down here. Not underneath value. There you go. Held 30s again. This range keeps continuing. So 30s to 75 basically is the chop zone right now. No acceptance above, no acceptance below. They'll build this out for a bit, and once they make a decision, whether it's too expensive or too cheap, we'll see a move away from it. Okay, 30s being tested again. 40s here. Can we break down, please, and I'll get short. We're going to break. 1, 2, 3, 4 tests down here. Still absorbing 30s. It's going to break at some point. It's just when. And again, 5th test and absorbing. 6th test now and absorbing. I'm watching the tick chart here. Mate, the wiggle here is wild. Now buyers stepping in trying to protect 40s. You're going to get cleaned out, surely. 7th test and absorbing. Sellers will get caught here soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attempts to break 30s and failing. SOXL coming down to lower day. That's going to matter. If that snaps lower day, we probably lose 30s here. Still no trade because they're still absorbing here. 30s to 70s is the rotation. Amazing. Up to 70s then because they just absorbed again. ES trying to go for a breakout of high. SOXL trying to break the lows. Great alignment. Thanks, market. Make it really fun for us today, why don't you? Okay, here's 70s. There's the rotation. Now, do they print above this and squeeze? ES about to approach high of day. SOXL stuck at low of day or thereabouts. Mag still looks good, other than Tesla and Nvidia. Tesla's flat, Nvidia's 1% down. Microsoft 1% up, Meta 2.5% up, Google 2% up, Amazon 1.60% up, Apple 0.61% up. We're just out of alignment here. Violently chopping in this tight, this range here, this node. Back to previous week value area high. Above this, bulls can try and take charge to get up to high of day. ES new high of day. It's trying to close its gap on ES like we talked about. SOXL still rejecting 240s. We are in a very different market here. I'm waiting for the day where they want to sell everything instead of just rotating to make it easier for us. At least we made our money early. Now, is ES going to close its gap, which is what it looks like it's trying to do? Gap fill on ES will be 72s. We're coming in towards 64s here. It looks like it wants to close its gap. 72s to 80s is probably a target if you're long ES, which looks a much better asset to be long right now. SOXL cannot get through the 240s. I'm just going to leave this alone for a bit. If I'm going to get long, I need to see it pull back, absorb a higher low, not just dangle. You've come in here at 10 o'clock asking what my trading plan is for the day. It's your fault you're late. You're late, mate. We get it before the market opened. We already did it. All right, another rejection up at these highs, but now they can try and absorb previous week value area high, New York view up, and New York open. So it's just a question if buyers are actually willing to step in here or not. No is the answer. So if we lose 70s, we're going to go back to 30s again, that same rotation. I'm still interested in the same things, especially now ES has made a new high. If it starts to fail inside, still interested in the same things if we let go of 30s. Nothing's changed. We're just going box to box, this sort of chop here, and we're building out high volume in it. If we lose 30s, then I'll know everyone's stuck. There was a big guy absorbing the tape at 30s. If he vacates, here's SOXL right at low of day. It's got to make a decision here. You can see this chop. This is all on the semis, folks. If the semis keep trying to hold on here, they're desperate to hold the bid. If they can't hold the bid and you get a flush down here to 230s, NQ will let go. That's a good rejection of New York Open now. Still inside this chop. I'm not going to trade this until we vacate 30. I'm going to make that clear. I've said it a million times. Because there has been passive buying at 30s all day long. Yeah, still holding on really well. '30s testing here again. 30s to 70s still the rotation. SOXL very close to letting go of low of day. I'm perking my interest here. Still protecting 30s. It's going to snap at some point. This has got to be the millionth test at this point. SOXL dangling on lower day. Try my best not to be early here and let it break away and prove to me. Prove to me I'm right. Still inside the opening range as well, by the way, folks. Yeah, still inside that opening range. Look at this protection of 30s. Non-stop absorbing down here. Non-stop absorbing. So we can go back up to 70s now again. Chop 30s to 70s again like they did last time. Bid trying to protect 50s now, interestingly. Let's see if he's legit. Nope. Now he's trying again. Nope. 30s are going to get tested again here. SOXL still not breaking down under low of day here. It's just rejected on a 5 minute. I think it's very close to letting go here. And the question then will be, is there follow through underneath? Right, 30s. There's the 20s, back to the 30s. I'm in short now. It's got to break away for me, otherwise I'm out. Oh my God. Hello? Really? You're just going to hold that 20 bid, are you? Come on. SOXL right of low of day. Reduce my size here because we're not doing what I want. I'll add again if we start to break down. They're re-adding now at 25s and 20s and 10s. I think I'm right here. It's just timing. It's going to be very hard. I don't want to get stuck in a rip back to 70s and 80s. Now they're protecting 30s again. This is a huge level. Huge. All right, here we go. Trade through this now, and then I'll start adding. Waiting for SOXL to make that low of day. It's there, but it's not accelerating yet. So I'm not adding yet. I want to see it accelerate out. Accelerate down, SOXL. I want to add. I'm about to stop out, and I'll know it will be an Alex stop if I do. Come on, SOXL, please. Fuck me. Patient here. All right, I'm not letting this come back above 40 now. That's point of control. I want to see acceleration lower. Stay heavy. Here we go. Thank you, SOXL, you piece of shit. Right. If we start to stay heavy at 30s and reject, I'm going to try and add. I know it's very hard because it's a low of day add, but I'm trying to play the breakdown on the higher time frame at the moment. Here we go. All pops being sold now, which is good. Looking for low of day. Covered a piece here into that old seller who got caught. SOXL starting to accelerate. I need low of day and under now. Here it comes. They're on the bid at 80s. Come on. Get me a fill. Trying to get a fill down here and then looking for the next box. God, they're making this hard by bidding up mag. ES into New York VWAP. We've got to be careful that it doesn't find a bid here on New York VWAP. Hopefully we just slide through New York VWAP on ES now and come down to that New York Open, and we will make a new low day on NQ, and we can trade down into 125. Come on. Give me a new low, for God's sake. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, let's see if we get 165, 125 now. Oh my God. The chop at 30s, man. That guy absorbing the tape there was such a pain in the ass. All right, here we go. SOXL now doing what we want as well. Yeah, baby. Just took patience. All right, covering here. And then we're looking for these boxes down here. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. Man, SOXL made that so fucking hard, man. All right, big selling at these lows. Be aware of that. We're starting to get a little bit extended into the 150s here, so you can cover some here. The next RBS zone, let's just make sure this is accurate. All right, we might catch a bid. 76s. I'd be watching covers 76s to sort of 100s now. This next box. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. 20 more points for another 100-pointer. That'd be 200 points on the day. I'm small size now. Come on, baby. So they're finding a bid. What did I say? 76s? Something like that? Oh, sorry. 37s is what I meant. 37s or 40s. 40s to 100s. This grey box is where they probably find a bit of a bid. So you want to watch this opening range now. You certainly don't want this back above those 30s, right? 30s is the battle zone, not just for now, for the rest of the day. That's your battle zone, 30s. Lots of selling here, continuing to be absorbed down here. But as long as we're staying heavy versus 30s, we're good to accelerate lower, but you should be down to small size now. You are seeing some absorbed down here, some big boy sellers down here, not moving lower. But I think as long as we stay under 30s, we can keep drifting lower. Here we go. So remember 40s, that grey box below is a cover point for us. We're kind of into it at the moment. They're all thereabouts. You can see they're front running into it. 50s break is the whole number. That's psychological. And then we can start breaking down. SOXL is absolutely bleeding. Chips are getting absolutely wrecked. I did forget to tell you, that was naughty of me. I took a short this morning on SOXS. Up nice on it right now. So added in my swing account. I'll close that soon. Thank you for all you do, for all the free work you do. Learn so much. Have been hella profitable. Morning coffee is on me. Hey, thank you very much, my friend. That's super kind of you. What's the name? I'm trying to read it. Arda Coburn. Thank you very much. Very, very kind. All right. Some big selling at these lows. Be very, very careful. All right. They're starting to get themselves a bit caught. If we start trading above 200, I'm going to take it off and I can add back in. There's a little imbalance here at 94, but the big selling started at 200. So basically, we're going to leave all the sellers trapped if we get over 200 and then potentially come right back up to 230s again. So 200's the out for me. Thank you, guys. That's very kind of you. Getting my Starbucks for the morning. You'll laugh. I left the Discord team with what to do yesterday, walked to Starbucks, and I said, I guarantee you it's done it by the time I get there. And it did. It absolutely puked for them. If you were on stream, you probably caught it as well after I left stream. The sell we were looking for yesterday. Okay, coming up towards my stop for the runner here. Can't believe that left me in. Cannot believe that just left me in. There we go, out on the runner. And we'll see if this lifts higher and rejects this next zone up here. So we came to the bottom of the grey box. This was our next cover. Didn't quite make it, but if we zoom out on the hourly, you can see why. All right, what are we talking about here this morning? All right, we're failing. There is your SBR zone, right? Support became resistance. We failed that. We came under previous week value area high. We've drifted into the low volume node. We expect it to catch a bid somewhere in here. All right, so we're short from here to here. We do not want to keep shorting down into this. It's going to get risky. If that's done the Alex trade to me, I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh. Jay Potter, thanks so much. Thanks so much. Yeah, a couple more tips than I can get, Haley. It's true. I don't. What do those cost from Air One? $30 a smoothie or something? That's awesome, George. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. So why was I more sell side today with the mag gapping up? It was only because of the market leaders and because of where volume was. So now that this is coming back up, we can talk about it. All right. So this morning, we were watching this kind of zone here where we broke down from. That's overnight. All right, that's the overnight. So we were watching to see if we failed to reclaim this, which we did. We then want to see previous week value area high, which is right here, stay heavy. So think about what the structure was at the morning. Push, 3-peak formation, failure, failure, chop, underneath, cover, back to that same chop zone now. They will either do this now or they will come right back up. If they felt like they've come deep enough on the H1 to bid, they can do it. So that's why we were focused short. When we think about the broader market this morning, okay, MAG, you will see here, has caught a bid. Pull this out. The MAG's caught a bid, but it's not the MAG that's been pushing this market higher. It's this guy here, which is 15% down, right? This is your semiconductor long, all right? Long fund, I mean. So if we move out of this, what we're seeing today, we're seeing pressure. You can see the price alerts that I've set. You're seeing pressure. We didn't even get back up. We rejected the 250 zone, which you would have heard me talk about that live. Even if we lifted to 58, I was interested in the sell. And now we're getting a bid where we last built out structure, all right? So we want to sell this to this. If we're going to get back bullish, all right, then what you want to see is something like that to bid back up, and then you cover some here, and then if you reclaim that whole zone, we're uber bullish again. All right, so I would say higher time frame pullback potentially complete for a moment. What I mean by that is, again, on the hourly, remember on a daily, I'll remind you, on a daily, we'll go over this. On a daily, we're still bullish, right? The daily, we expect to make a higher low, don't we? Right, think about this. We expect it to make a higher low, probably in front of this or somewhere in here, unless we're going to go back into range. If it does this, we're going to go into range, but we expect some form of higher low to be made in front of this. And it might be, based on what we've seen on the hourly, that we're going to do it in here. All right, so the hourly went into a sell yesterday. First, second, third leg. We might complete that higher low somewhere in here. We don't know. It might come deeper, but we might complete it, which is why we cover some. And if we start to reclaim this, then that will be the move back to highs, right? Liquidity, 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 drive higher. Yeah, so that's why I'm now chilled for a minute. Because I'm like, okay, we've hit the targets I wanted. Now we wait, we let it build out. See if market gets into alignment. See if they want to go risk on now. Do they want to bid semis back up while bidding software, while bidding the MAG? I don't know. We're going to find out, though. We're going to find out, though. I tell you what, it'd be nice if Netflix fucking starts getting going, which it looks like it's trying to. If we can start holding a core and adding in, that would be good. I'm now 74% up on my Oracle swing. Oh, my days. Me likey, me likey, me likey. Looking good. All right, yes, trying to get higher day. SOXL off the 230, back up to 240s. Like I said, I'm just flat now. I'm just going to let it build out liquidity. We had two really good trades there, sell side. Made our money for the day. Both 100 pointers. Or second one was just short of 100 points, but the first one certainly was over 100 points. Catch up with chat. Can you smash that like button for me, please? There's 2,400 of you in here, only 600 likes. 1,000 likes, Apex account giveaway. 1,200 likes, we will do a course giveaway, beginner course giveaway. Thanks, Alex. I just got funded. Nice. Nice work. Nice work. Nice work. Don't even know when you always call a trade, Alex. Well, I'm sorry, Aaron. That sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. I would say it was, if you were here at the open, it was fairly obvious that we were calling. I was calling for a move up to 380 to 400 for failures. I'm going to look for failures up there. We didn't see failures up there. I literally told you I'm putting some risk on here. It's a little bit early. It was here. We'll see if it wants to go because I'm seeing buyers get exhausted. I got stopped out and then I got back in at the same level. I told you that same level. And then I told you probably, honestly, about 50 million fucking times that I'm going to get short when we vacate this node. So I don't know. Maybe you need to go to CVS and get your hearing tested or something, my friend, because it's certainly nothing to do with me. Because I can absolutely guarantee you, I told you exactly the entries. My blood pressure's good, man. I'm up thousands. I couldn't give a F. It just makes me laugh. What they really mean is when they say that is, please, can you post all your exact entries on stream so I can just click when I see you do it instead of using my brain to learn? That's all it is. You want to signal bot me. You can signal bot me if you just use your ears. I mean, how many of you heard the levels me calling if you were here this morning? Or where I said, I'll get short when we leave 2:30. How many of you heard that? I'm sure lots of you got W's in here by trading the sell with me. There were two sells. There was one that we took here, and there was one that we took here, right? Those are the winning trades. I wonder how... Look at all those people. Wow. Wow. So is it me? Is it me? Am I the issue? I don't think so. I don't think I'm the issue. Yeah. There we go. Look at these dubs. Dub, 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 dub. All right, ES new hive day again. It still hasn't closed its gap there. SOXL trading back inside its morning range. QQQ getting back above the VWAP. Now, again, it's the same question. All right, this is, if we zoom out on the H1, this grey box that we're into is becoming problematic for this market. All right, this node here, right, which is also support, 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 became resistance. We're getting stuck here, right? It's building out here. We are not finding acceptance underneath or inside previous week's value, but we are also not finding acceptance inside current week's value. This is a decision point of the market. The market needs to decide, hey, is this too cheap? Do we need to come back into balance of current week? Or hey, is this too expensive? Do we need to come back inside balance of previous week? All right. The easiest money, honestly, was made in the sale yesterday if you're a swing short. That was the move. We talked about it yesterday numerous times. I want to be short here all the way down to this point here. We talked about it. And I said weakness will come under 300s if we stay heavy. Can I ask how I de-risk? I take size off, right? So if I've added into something, let's say I start with 1 or 2 and I'm adding 3, 4, and 5 contracts on and it doesn't move the direction I want and I feel like, there's a chance I get trapped here. Well, I take 5, 4, 3, 2, come back down to nice small core size. So if I'm wrong and I take the stop, it's an easier stop to manage. Because remember, if I was shorting 30s, I was having to be very, very cognizant of the move to 70s, right? If we're shorting here and here, let's say I'm like, I can't remember where it was, somewhere in here, I was looking for a breakdown and I was starting to add, and then I feel it like holding, okay, I want to de-risk because I don't want to risk all my contract size back to there. I mean, look at this liquidity build here. It's absolutely key. It is key for the decision for the day. ES now has done 3 drives, still hasn't filled its gap. Still has not filled its gap. So we keep getting stuck up here like we talked about, and we're not getting clean breaks under here. Not yet. How do you use hotkeys for placing your order? I use them on NinjaTrader. You can just go to the NinjaTrader settings. What I'd say is if you are using affordable indicators trade copier, be careful because sometimes they overrun each other or they don't fill. So I don't use my hotkeys as much if I'm trade copying. I have to be very careful. It can get me in problems. All that to be at opening print. Yeah. Well, it's because of what the opening print is. It's not so much that it's the opening print. It's where that opening print is. That opening print is basically previous week value area high, and is basically your SBR RBS over under, right? This right here, right? Value area high, resistance, became support, became support, became support, became support, may now turn to resistance. It's a very important area. All right. So they're not willing at the moment to do this. Why? Well, remember, this is the semiconductors selling, and that rotation's gone into mag and only mag. Right. So if we look at the mag, if I pull this up on the screen for you, you can see the rotation again today. We talk about this a lot. Let's reset that. Okay, so semis, right? Semiconductors. Look at these, all selling. Semis selling. These have been the big winners. 15.4% down, 4.6% down. AVGO, almost 10% down. MU, almost 8% down. AMD, 4.5% down. INTC, QCOM, almost 6% down. ADI. You can see bleed, right? A bleed in the semis. Okay, where's that money gone? Where's big green? Okay, mag, not big green, but some into entertainment, Microsoft, Oracle, Palantir. So outside of that, where's it gone? Healthcare's gone and caught a bid again. All right, UNH, man, it got an upgrade this morning. Everyone knows in Discord I've been wanting to get more long into UNH. This thing's starting to get upgrades up to 450, I think they said, price upgrade to. So I'm interested. Healthcare catching a bid and finance sector catching a bid. Well, what are these in? These are not in NQ. I'll tell you where they are in. They're in ES, right? So we've got these big green sectors in ES catching a bid, which is why you're seeing relative strength in the ES right now. Yeah, these huge sectors are in ES, not in NQ. This is in NQ, so that's why I have relative weakness in NQ. That's why we're having the divergence. It's got nothing to do with some, I don't know what he is, 55-year-old balding stupid man saying that's the algo. It's got fucking nothing to do with that. Absolutely zero. How much do I care about current session value areas rotation? Never feels as strong as when rotating previous day value areas. Well, okay, so Charlie, yes, you're absolutely correct. Why would you be correct? Because there's more volume on the previous day, right? We only have an hour of volume in the current day. So when we care about it is when they start to line it up really well with previous day or previous week. Yeah? But you're right. I mean, does this current day value area high have the same influence that this will up here? Absolutely not, because it's only got an hour of volume in it. Still matters, because it's still telling you at the moment, okay, we can't find acceptance above it. And with the Confluence knowing that this is that big H1 level we talked about, it still matters, as does this previous week value area high. So this area here matters. If they can catch a bid, right, they'll try and get up into these. If they can't catch the bid, then it's showing you, hey, we can't get through here. We're just going to keep doing this and trap everyone until we're ready. But at the moment, I'd say no more shorts now. No more shorts. Not until they lift this thing more and make a decision. ES about to close its gap like we talked about. All right, so ES now closing its gap. We talked about this. Here it is. Yellow line. And this was the level this morning that I said I'd watch to see if and how we reject here. All right, ES might start to get stuck in here. And if it does, it will be a pullback. I'll tell you what you've seen though. ES, that's your sort of Wyckoff spring, how we act in here now matters. If they keep traveling through it and they're going to go risk on in healthcare and energy and keep bidding and bidding and bidding, then ES is going to keep moving up. How do I know if they catch a bid? If what catch a bid? A sector, or you can see the sector's green. You can put a watch list on your chart. You can use FinViz or anything to show you the different sectors and what's catching a bid. I mean, it's fairly obvious of what's caught a bid. I mean, if it's green, it's caught a bid. If it's red, it definitely hasn't caught a bid. I'm long from 30,156. Should I be covering or let the thing do its thing for a further expansion? Where are you long from? 156. Jesus, that's a good entry. A very good entry. Underneath this. I'd be paying myself some into the top of this range. And I'd say you're good to hold now all the time it bases over this. And my targets, if I was you, I'd say high day breakout. All right. And if you get that breakout, here and here. I wouldn't expect the market to move above this today. I think that would be its max move for the day. But I would definitely be paying myself because you're still in a breakdown. This can still do this and break down lower. So I'd say pay yourself some, look for these targets, and I'd say I'd be willing to hold all the time it's basing above basically 280s. If it can't base above 280s, then you get rid of the rest. Thoughts on MT web platform? I think it's okay. I don't personally use it. Can I look at NVIDIA? Yep. Quick look at NVIDIA for you. Let me try and see if we can get another trade in. I mean, nothing to do here, really. The sell was here. Think about this. Resistance became support, became resistance. All right, breakdown, two-leg pullback, failed follow through. There's your big sell yesterday. All right, and they'll probably be covering some into this, and we can chop in here. Follow through comes underneath, rebalance comes above. That's it. No entry in here. Not unless you want to get chopped to death. Where do I want to buy BTC? Well, like I said, BTC is in a bearish cycle. It's had its 1,000-day bull run. We talked about this at the end of last year. If that thing wants to come to 38,000 and below, it can. You're going to hate me for saying it, but it can. If it wants to do a new leg lower, it just rejected range. If it wants to do a new leg lower, it can. All right, so this is now starting to develop pretty nicely. That hold there was pretty good. Like I said, no more shorts once we recovered this. Higher day is your next opportunity. SOXL is coming back up for that 250. That's going to be the top side of that range. ES is still trying to close the gap. So I'd be cognizant if ES closes the gap and fails and SOXL hits that 250 and fails, you get a trade back inside. If SOXL starts to base above 250 and we continue to lift on some of the mag, then you have a 260 move available on SOXL and the NQ will keep lifting up with that. So that's what I'd be watching now. Broader market. All right, let me get refocused here. Gap almost filled on ES now. Tyson trade incoming? Maybe. I mean, you got close this bar and then you get the IB set. And we're going to be at the extreme of the IB high pretty much. So I'm going to wait to see how the semis act here at 250 and how ES acts at this gap fill. We are coming into like resistance points on the SPY and the Qs really. And if they lift through this, I'd say your upside target if they lift through this, spiders would be 56s. At the moment, you're trading 54s. SPY actually filled its gap and ES didn't, so more divergence there, just for fun. Next to the template of the short 400, 450. I mean, maybe, but you just got to know now that we've done the damage to the downside and we've built. The difference now is the opening drive short, right? If we'd seen this up here and got that, is we hadn't built this out. We now have liquidity built out, so we need to be aware of it. Surprised ES hasn't closed its gap there. It came just short of it. Spiders did close, and they are both starting to reject high volume options levels up here. If they don't hold this node as a buyer, I'd probably consider being done with it, this low volume node, which they're currently holding, which is good for you. If they don't hold it, it's kind of annoying that they haven't made a new high. Even for the sell, it would be better now if we move higher first. You're long from 178. Where should I put stop loss? Well, like I said, I don't think you want it back into that 280 range. Otherwise, if it goes 280 and let's go, it's going to come down to 230, and then you're not very much up. So I would have paid myself some on the way up here, and then be trying to protect previous week's value area high or VWAP, because look, you can see the structure now. This is the chop. It needs to find acceptance up above this to continue. Otherwise, you're going to do this, and then you're long from where? 170 or something, did you say? It's still a decent win, but you should have paid yourself some and hope that they can do that on the extension. If they can't, it's going to chop again, and this can just be a range day. Wait and see if there's a reaction here or not. Semi struggling to get through that 250. I want to see them poke through, clean out, come back down in, and ES fill its gap before I think about doing anything else. So patient. We've got a long time left. We're only an hour into the day. We've had 2 big winners. We will get some more. We've just got to be patient now. Good hold there of that low volume node right there. It's very good. You need to see a new high of day here. You do not want to see failed follow through. You want to see ES close its gap and SOXL get through the 250s for you guys who are long. Whether you longed here or you were long down here, it doesn't matter. You need to see continuation now through this. You do not want to see this hesitate up here. It's just done the move you want to see to hold the pullback. You do not want to see hesitation. Alex, I'm $125 away from passing my TPT eval. I made 1,100 with you this morning. Nice work, man. Great work. I didn't say I think Bitcoin will come back to 38K, but I will show you some very valid reasons as to why it can do that. And if you don't think that's possible, I would suggest you go through every single bull bear cycle and mark out the pullback region. Mark that out. I didn't say it has to. I said it's possible. There is a difference. And I was already bid up off the last big pullback and selling into the resistance level. But if you don't think it's possible, I will absolutely clown you on here and show you it's absolutely possible based on size of swings. I don't even actively trade it, and I can tell you, bull cycle ended. You had a 1,000-day bull cycle, as always, and it ended. And you've done nothing but sell, and everyone's like, oh, it's a bidding back up. No, it bid back up to retest supply. It just failed. And if it breaks new lows, everyone who's been buying the last 3 or 4 months is going to get liquidated, aren't they? Okay, back to this 300. Why has ES not filled its gap there? Maybe the spiders doing it was enough. SOXL is now doing the dance, 45 to 250. I'm still not ready to pull the trigger on anything here. I would much rather see this clear out. So this is the important area, and if they let go of this, the whole thing gives back into this chop zone again. So I don't really want to trade the middle of this. I was hoping we'd clear out, and if we were going to have failures, see something like this, and then I could de-risk some and then hold runners in case. We're not seeing that, and we're seeing ES pull right back after failing to close its gap. It's still holding every RBS zone. It still looks like it can move higher on ES. And semis still look like they're building out liquidity. Okay, that's it. I have to clown you now for being stupid. Here we go. Here we go. This is how I clown you, because you don't listen. So guys experienced here teaching you guys is going to show you why it's absolutely possible that this thing can move all the way back down. Guy who's watching me is going to understand why you need to learn to look left. Okay, here we go. 1 week. Oh God, it's still there from last time. Okay. Look how Alex has done this before. Length of bull cycle, okay? Length of bull cycle, 1,000 days. Length of bull cycle, 1,000 days. Length of bull cycle, 1,000 days. Pullback in bear cycle. You can do these a different color if you want. %. Pullback in bear cycle. 78%. So if we were going to say we were going to do anything like that again. Oh, what's that price? I just fucking wonder what that price is. I just wonder. So don't say it's not possible, but because it's absolutely possible to do it. I'm not saying it has to do it, but to be arrogant enough to think you're better than what is capable in the market is what will get you killed, my friend. Now, where do I think it would come to? I don't think it would come that low. I do think we will see a 50% retrace, and I do think it's highly likely that this stop right here gets run, which means it would be coming down towards 44,000, all right? And I think that's possible. And oh, dearie me, Mr. Arrogant, I know better than the market. I think it's not a shit coin. It's not. No, it's not a shit coin. You're right. But what's it done before? Asking for a friend. There you go. Ran over. Some of us know how to chart, understand liquidity. Some of us don't. And I tell you what, it's a risk-on asset. And if this world goes into risk-off, you're going to see it. And I'm also going to tell you that capital has to be raised from somewhere. And if people want to keep buying these IPOs, if we want to generate income for this AI mania, something's got to be sold for it. I'm not even meaning an asshole. It's just amazing that people think it's not possible. It's like me saying this market can't make a new high because I said so. Well, I would be proven wrong. No, I don't suffer fools. You're right. Because it's, do you know what it is? It's foolish thoughts like that. I'm trying to do you guys a favor. That's what people don't understand. I'm trying to do you a favor Because if you think it can't do something, you've already made a bias. That's like me saying, when we were short here, and I was looking for 30s to fail, that's like me saying it has to do this. 100% it has to do this move because I've decided. Well, what if Mr. Whale said, no, Alex, we're not doing that. We're going straight up without doing that. And I just kept fighting it because my ego got in the way. There's only one thing that gets you killed trading. It's ego. Well, that and not understanding what you're doing at all. It's the only thing. You either don't know what you're doing or your ego's too big. Right? It's not a negative comment though, guys. It's not a negative comment. It's not. It's a comment which doesn't involve reality. It's not negative. I'm not arguing with someone negative. I'm trying to show you the importance of looking back on higher time frames. All right? Because let's face it, most people on BTC already thought right? They thought this was the return of the bull market, right? And just for transparency, me and Mo and some others in Discord bought this, all right? We bought this. But guess where I sold it? Oh, what's that grey box there? What's this here? I'm pretty sure that's support that became resistance, all right? So once we held, right, I took some profits here. What's happened since then? No way. No way. That's the higher time. No way. It's like everything else we look at. No. Really? It's operating the same way as everything else. So if we break these lows, what would we be thinking about? Okay. What would the projection be? Oh, no way. These would be the moves. What would that be? No, that wouldn't be the liquidity run on that, would it? That wouldn't be the 50% pullback, would it? That wouldn't be the 1.5161 extension, would it? That wouldn't make sense at all, would it? Oh, look what the 100% extension would be. No way. That wouldn't be what I said is possible, is it? No way. We don't have loads of confluence for that to make sense. But don't worry, because your ego says it's impossible. We must be thinking about $1 million this year in Bitcoin because someone else thinks it's possible. Get the fuck out. Let's live in reality. Reality is based on what happens, what has happened, and how we can use previous price action to dictate what might happen next. That's it. Rant over. You either listen to me and you learn, or you go to someone else who will teach you like I do, or you'll learn, or you can keep clicking through, you know, Twitter and Instagram and TikTok with some 16-year-old child telling you, Bitcoin's going to be $1 million in 6 months. QQQ is going to be 0. You know, what about this guy? I don't know if any of you follow him. There's one guy, I'm not going to say his name and ruin him, right? But there's one guy on YouTube. Every video is the same. It's like this. I told you we were going to drop. I told you we were going to drop. Now we're going to get rejection here. We're going to get a giant head and shoulders and we're coming all the way back down to here. Okay, we didn't get it. Okay, now we're going to get a rejection here. We didn't get it. Okay, we're going to get a rejection here. We didn't get it. Oh, it's all gone very quiet over there, hasn't it? I told you. Market doesn't care. I told you, market doesn't care what you say. Market does what market wants. We either obey the market, we're disciples of the market, or we disobey the market and we probably get burnt. Trying to help you. Listen, don't listen, makes no difference to me. I'm going to be here making money each day no matter what. If you watch him, his name's Ron. He should change his name to Wrong. Okay, ES still, I cannot believe, hasn't closed its gap here. Spiders have, so divergence still at play there between the spiders and the ES. SOXL, big rejection of the 250, right back down towards 243s now, under that 245s. MAG still holding up pretty well. I'll give you a readout on the MAG, but this is starting to lose this impetus up here, and we're just going to sort of be in this wishy-washy range here. And if they can't hold this, well, it can get weak. If ES gives up, this whole thing will get weak with it. Hate has got it's not even hate, guys. It's not hate. They're not hating. There's not people in here are not asking stupid questions. They're not hating. They're biased, and that's okay. But I am trying to remove the bias which is created because you're invested in something. How many people buy a shit stock, right? And it moves up and it moves down and it keeps moving down and it keeps moving down. And then they go and search. Well, this website tells me it's going to be worth 100x what it is in 2 years. And this website's told me this and this. And I asked my friend and he told me this and and then you've polluted your head. And the only thing that matters is what's actually happening, right? I'm trying to save you guys from yourself. I've made these mistakes. Fuck, my dad's like a 50-year fucking veteran and he's stuck in a piece of shit stock for like 10 years because his mate told him it was going to do something. I mean, we all do it every now and again. I'm just trying to make you see what's possible in the market. Never, ever, ever think that you know better than the market. Anything is possible at any time. He left chat? No, he doesn't need to leave chat. Like, it wasn't just one person. There was a few of them. Like I said, I'm just trying to help, man. Like, I've proved my point. The 40,000, 38,000 is possible. I've proved my point. It's absolutely possible based on historical fact, based on fib projections, based on what we've done before. I'm not saying it has to happen, but it's possible. So to say it's never going to happen or it's impossible is wrong. And that why I worry is if you're long at 80,000 and this thing breaks 70 and it goes into a liquidation event to 40, you're going to be so wrong that you're probably going to be liquidated. My average in Bitcoin is 35K and I didn't sell any because people are calling. Look, it will. The other thing is, dummy, it can pull back to 35 or 38 or 40 if it wants. All right, if it wants to. And once it's finished doing that, it will go into another bull cycle. And the bull cycles are much, much bigger than the bear cycles. Just remember that. Way bigger than the bear cycles. So if your average is good, it doesn't really matter. People who've got a problem and people are buying at 80, 90 and above. They are in big trouble right now. They're going to have to sit through, potentially, they're going to have to sit through big drawdown. Okay, still pulling back here. I am somewhat surprised that ES didn't clear out, but there we go. Initial balance taking place here. We're in this low volume node. You can see we're not finding acceptance under this. The reason oh God, don't move that. The reason I've stopped being so bearish right now is we're not finding acceptance under this. Pullbacks can still hold, but we are now in a big old D shape. These are what I try and avoid trading. I try and avoid trading these. Did I learn all my stuff from Tradeify, or did you have a mentor? I had a few mentors who were awful, and to be honest with you, I learned how not to trade from most of them. Most of them got me to blow up pretty well, adding into losers, not understanding the market. There are a couple guys whose courses I did do back in the day, which maybe helped a little bit, not a lot. Most of it is honestly just reading, implementing it, refining, trial and error. I wish, this isn't an arrogant thing I was saying to my wife, I wish I had the mentor I am to me 5 years ago. It would have saved me tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars. We are just churning this grey block right now. This node from previous week and current week, we're just churning it right now. How did I learn order flow? Well, I always used Bookmap on small caps. Hopefully you guys are there. It just says I've disconnected to OBS. I don't think I have. I think that's an error. How old are you? You've asked a million times. Everyone knows how old I am. I'm 40, mate. 40. What do I need to see to get interested? Well, I'm concerned. I'm not willing, right, at the moment to bid down here. Only because of how we built out the range, right? That feels like a scary bid mid of the range to try and get this move. So I'm probably going to wait to see how we act if we clear out, if ES clears out, if there's a clear out and failure or a clear out and hold. So if there's a clear out and failure, I might be interested in that. And then if they hold that, maybe. Otherwise, see if we can get a runner going. I'm building out a lot of liquidity here. SOX, it's very clean. I'm waiting for SOXL to come to these 250s. All right, you can see all the liquidity is trapped up here right now. All right, so I'm waiting to see how we act here. All right, and if we find a bid on that, or if we pop and fail. And at the same time, I'm watching ES to close the gap, which has just missed a few times. You can see the gray box is very important to me, but I feel very nervous about taking a sell on this until we've closed this gap. But with divergence, because SPY has closed its gap, look at that. All right, so cash closed the gap, futures didn't. So maybe the sell starts a little bit early because of that. I don't know. So I'm just trying to like give it some time to build out and ideally push higher first. Because if it just sells here without pushing higher, it's going to be very hard to consider being a seller in the midpoint of the range. You don't trust my age. I'm an 85 baby. I'm 40. It is what it is. I wish I wasn't. If you think I'm younger, maybe you think I'm older. I don't know. We're at 1K likes here. We can do some giveaways in a bit. Yeah. We do a giveaway now. We do Apex now. All right. One free Apex account on the way to one of you. Just type FZT once. Please don't spam it. Don't spam it. It's so interesting. Like when ES is pulling back, semis are finding the bid. When semis pull back, ES tries to find a bid. It's just a non-stop rotation. I really don't want to get caught in chop and do my best to avoid it. My bias overall has been lower, but we are still basing above previous week's value at the moment. So I have to ignore that bias for now. Software starting to catch a bit of a bid as well. 0.25% up, which is good. Oh my God, Oscar Health. I missed it again. Who in Discord still long Oscar Health? Oh my God. I don't think it filled me. I'm going to check my swings. I don't think I got filled on it. No, I didn't. Oh, man. It's on a ripper with healthcare. 14% up. Oh, that's frustrating. I've just seen that. That is hella frustrating. Well, some of you in Discord are still long in it. You are laughing right now. You are laughing. Can I show it? Oscar, yeah. Oh. Missed it. Was waiting for here. Was waiting for this. Oh my God, 20s did it. 20s did the job. Oh man, you guys look like blue sky breakout coming. Right, any dip that comes back in towards 21, I'm gonna have to hit. Gonna have to take. Watch that tomorrow. Put it on my alert list. We're doing a giveaway, yeah. That's why people are typing it. All right, let's pull the winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. VUEX 0049. VUEX 0049. Let me know you're here. VUEX, you got to let me know you're here. All right, ES trying to get back up to close that gap. We're still churning this grey box. You can see still holding this low volume node, still finding acceptance above previous week value area high. So it's still a long, technically right now, lower time frame. It just depends if the H1's going to fail. Yes, that's exactly it, my friend. info@flowzonetrader.com. Congrats. Congrats, congrats. All right, we get another 100 likes and we'll do a course giveaway, introduction to trading giveaway. I haven't done one of those for a bit. This is the part that's trading that's hard. It's just waiting. It's waiting for the next play. So we caught the sells on the way down. Some of you caught the longs on the way up. I did not. We are starting to see acceptance over previous week value area high. My issue right now is watching these semis. So we're approaching that 250 right now on the semis, and we're approaching the gap fill on the ES. What happens here is, for me, probably what's going to be important of if this market's willing to climb above this gap fill on ES. And if you are long ES, if you can get above this gap fill, basically 70s, 80s is your high volume on gamma. You're already there at spies. Qs are nowhere near. They ain't even close right now on the Qs. Do I get top in Discord if I paid for the course? Yeah, if you've done the beginner to advanced course, go to the end of that course, follow the instructions. I'll use the 4 o'clock close, Barry. 4 o'clock close. Yeah, still not quite completing that move. It's trying. All right, semis through the 250. So strength coming here in semis. Now it's all about what happens. Are they willing to base and hold these 250s? If they do hold the base above 250s or at 250s, they're going to try and get up to 257, 260s. They are starting to lift now. Yeah, starting to get going as well. No, you don't get the Discord with order flow. You only get it with the beginner to advance. FINRA changed the PD2 rule today. They did. Welcome all the gamblers to the market. Let's see how much more retail money, smart money can make. You know, they're just going to keep taking from retail. Thank you. Yeah, you good? Yeah. All right, IB high coming up. Let's see what a measured move above this would be today if they're able to do it. It would be Confluence to this move to 470, 480 we talked about at the beginning of the day. And we have a chance here, if we hold the print, to rebalance the old H1 chart, the kill candle that happened at 4 a.m. And I would watch current week value area low, 425s and then 450s. Here goes the squeeze, and like we said, SOXL squeezing through. ES now closed the gap as well. So these are going to be important levels here and all the way up here, right? So they're either going to fail here or they're going to try and squeeze right the way up into this. So it's either going to be a failed auction. You do have previous week close up at 405s as well. So I'm going to watch to see if there's some form of failed auction or if they're willing to hold the bid now and start pushing. ES closed the gap, pull back off it. SOXL is absolutely ripping faces now through the 250, like we said. So the next point for it to trying to get to is 257, 260. I'm going to have to wait for that to sort of peak out. Previous week close is up here at 405s. This is previous week close here. And then you've got current week value area low. If we go back inside this, it'll be acceptance back into current week, which will then trade right the way up, which is wild, but that's what it is. It is what it is. It isn't what it isn't. Here's the retest of IB. Holding IB for now. It's a great hold of IB there. Should have got long there instead of value area low, value area high, I mean. We'll see. Why is semi so important to NQ? Because they're the ones that have done all the work. We've talked about this many times, right? If you look at the lift from, I don't know, March or whatever, it's semis doing the work. Not that many of the mag broke out to new all-time highs. All of the semiconductors broke out to new all-time highs. It's the chip race. It's AI mania. That's what's doing the big pushes. They're still holding IB here. There's still liquidity up at 400s at the moment. Yes, through its PDC. So I'm interested both ways here. I'm interested if we see pops, like a big clear out and buyers get trapped and then failures, if this is just a back test and the H1 stays heavy. But if we do see that, we're going to have to be very careful timing it. And also we're going to have to be very careful if we're going to find acceptance printing higher. So you guys who are long, you can be looking for 400 and then the next block's right the way up here. I said ES is trying to get to that 580 level now. Starting to see this market get a little bit stuck up here, as expected in this grey box. If SOXL comes back under 250, if it can't hold its pullback, which is now also a big RBS zone, if it can't hold that pullback, that would be good indication that we're going to struggle to move higher. All the time it holds a bid over that, we can keep squeezing higher. IB now holding very well. They're trying to build out a little flag here for a squeeze out. What is my trading strategy? No offense, you're talking to me like I have one playbook. Like I have many playbooks. Right now, I'm interested if it's an IB expansion or an IB failure based on higher time frame. What I'm normally looking at is for trap participants on higher time frame and for us to leave those trap participants. It's the reason we traded sell side this morning, because buyers overhead were trapped. It's the reason I'm interested if we see some blow off here into a level where buyers can get out, which is from where we are now, maybe all the way up to 420s, right? If the buyers get out there, because every buyer from yesterday's low and all overnight are stuck above this grey box, which is why I'm interested if we're going to see IB failure here. But the way they've built up the liquidity is very hard, because we'd have to cover some into 40s, because this would now be an RBS zone. So there is a trade down to here available. They can reprint this. This is the danger. So the more they print it up and then see a failure, the better, because we have a better RR down into that. But I mean, I always find it funny when people talk about strategy. There's still liquidity up at 400. ES still holding its print. SOXL still holding its print. Hasn't actually tested 450s yet. 250, sorry. I want to see if they can come up to that grey line above Yeah, I'm still long a little bit in Netflix. I would like to add if it's going to really start to base out. All right, SOXL getting going. So like I said, 57s and then 60s. SOXL doable. I tell you what, the big gamma print, the big cool wall is up at 280s, which is the gap fill on SOXL. I mean, it feels like it's asking a lot to do that, but who flipping knows, folks? They've been so strong for so long. I'm not going to bet against it. And I think 580 is your target on ES right now. Guys, can I just focus on price action while I'm looking for a trade here? Everyone's gone back to asking, like, what do you trade? What do you do? What indicates this? What's this? I'm not here for a Q&A right now. I'm here to try and make some money. Let me just focus in, see if there's a trade set up here. Let's see if we can get some kind of blow off up here or if they're going to find acceptance. Still haven't hit that 400. They want to fill this guy at 400 and above. For ES, if it can get into that 580s. Getting close to the 57s on SOXL. That's a bit of a pivot there, and then through that will be 60s, which is its first cool wall for the day. So starting to see an acceleration. So no acceptance, I'm saying at the moment, into previous week's range. And it's going to try and see if we can find acceptance back into current week's range on the H1. That's what we're starting to see. So still looking to see how we act up here into previous week close, this gray line right here. All right, and current week value area low right here. So I'm watching if we see rejection there or not. If we don't, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it because I didn't want to trade down here for the long and I might regret it. Big bids coming in here. Previous week close here, big bid. Okay, ES coming into that 580 we talked about. SOXL coming into the 57s, through that is 60s. This thing's still lifting. I'm still not willing to do anything in this. Lift, lift, lift. Here's 57s. All right, just got an alert. So SOXL crossing 57s. Big alert going off here. And through here, 60s. And if it doesn't see failures there, then, well, I'm not going to rule out it closing its gap, which is bonkers, but maybe the options chain, that's what they want to do. So we've now gone through previous week close. So we're green on the week again now, technically. And the squeeze can happen all the way up into here now. And there is some big boy buyers piling into this right now. And this will all be from the semis. There's 580s hit on ES, 60s next on the semis. That's their target for now. If they get through that, then a gigantic squeeze is possible, which is insane, but it's just based on what I'm seeing in the options chain is possible right now. Wild, 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 wild. Previous day low, by the way, is up at 77s. Up here somewhere. So here is current week value area low. If they find acceptance through this, they're going to come back up to this grey box. The squeeze is on right now because semis are squeezing. Someone asked, why do we look at them? That's why we look at them. They are dictating this market right now. They absolutely are dictating this market. This bid up has all started from the reclaim of 250s. We talked about that 250 level on semis. Unfortunately, they didn't pull back and hold it for me to think about getting long. They've just done a straight squeeze over it. So shorts are all caught now. Right, target hit here on ES, I would say. SPY wants 756, I would say. This thing's going to keep going. I'm not going to rule out this put wall at this point, which is insane. This tiny little IB pull back and go, but I don't think we can rule out that put wall. And here comes the 60s on SOXL. It's just straight squeezer. Lemon squeezer. Up, 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 up. This big buyer came in here at 20s. See if they hold this. Yeah, they're still bidding that 20s. That's where the big buyer came in. So buyers came in at 20s and 400s. Look at that, hold of 20s and go. They're not done with this. This thing's going to rip. So there's a little bit of front running in front of that 260 on SOXL. It's very possible we come up here at this point. A big buyer came in at 420 and 400. That's where the big aggressive buying started taking place. And I don't think they're done with it, guys. The auction at the high doesn't look good. They're not done with this. They're going to keep squeezing this. They are not done with it. $260's coming up here. It's a shame SOXL had to do that in one full go and couldn't give us a reload. Right, ES now above its 880 zone. So if it keeps holding the prints above that, let me just check this pivot. It's got liquidity to come and take it 87s, 5 days up at 96s. I mean, everything's in squeeze higher right now. It just depends how high before a pullback, like we talked about. And is it going to be the exit, or are we going to reclaim range? So we're rebalancing that H1 we talked about. Remember, we talked about that H1 getting rebalanced. We're starting to see that H1 get rebalanced. They will not come under 420s here at the moment. That's where the big buyer was. So all the time they're holding 420s, squeeze and squeeze and squeeze as possible. Every dip's being bought here. Every micro dip. We're back into that like really aggressive buy everything kind of attitude from the market. We haven't seen that for a few days, but it's back. It's certainly back. Almost at these 60s on the semis. It's the big level. $420 is the level. Buy control above, now inside current week's value in this blue line. This is their next target up here. No pullback since that. That's a 100-point move. Again, it's all coming from this 250 break. This. It's all coming from that. That's the squeeze. That's why. They ain't done with it. The book's slowing down here. I think it needs to accelerate. I'm not going to join long here. No way. And use 420 for stop. No way, mate. We're so extended. There's no way. No way I'm doing that. Absolutely no way I'm doing that. I'd rather miss it than do that. Right, 260 about to be tagged here on SOXL. If they get through that, you're going to see a big squeeze up here. If they get through that, it's tapping on it now. This is the point. We're about to hit put wall 3. If we get through this, we're all the way up here. Oh, would have been nice if it gave me a reload after that 250 break, after we waited for it all that time to avoid the chop. Would have been nice, but no. Market's got other ideas right now. ES now holding the bid over 880s. Qs can close the gap to 241. Where's our gap? It was not. That's such a big divergence, man. That's weird. Weird. Still absorbing the bid here above 420s. Your 6th cent tells you a short is coming. I mean, There might be a counter trend sell coming at some point, yes, but not right now. I mean, it's fairly obvious that there will be some sell at some point given the size of these moves without pullbacks, but these are trapping shorts in. They're going to keep going up and up and up and up until they get a blow off. Once they get the blow off, then a potential sell, but not beforehand. Not beforehand. Still liquidity. All the way up at 500 resting liquidity. I think they want up here, honestly. And they're just going to keep squeezing. SOXL through the 260s now. Oh, he's salty. He's salty. He could have gone long on that IB. He thought about it and he was like, no, I'll wait until there. You would have heard me say it. I'm thinking about it, but I want to wait until the dip down to here. Should have just longed it. Should have just taken it. You fucking idiot. Sit it out. Patiently sit it out now. Be kind to myself. Oh, yeah, I'm all right. I'm just going to have to wait. What's annoying is we wait for it because of the alignment. I say it's not a short in here. All the time we're holding this. It's probably a long, but I don't want to play the midpoint of the range. I want to wait for the break and the hold. We hold higher. And SOXL, I was waiting for SOXL. Think about if this was 250. I was waiting for SXL to do this, and it just went as it does. All right, previous day low up here, and then put wall 1. So if you are long, you better be paying yourself into these. 241 is the level on Qs. Starting to see it slow down a little bit up here. It's due a pullback, but we'll see. All the time they hold 420s, they're pretty good. It's amazing. The pullbacks are like 2 points, and the drives up are like 20 and 30. It's not even a buy there that absorbed it. It's probably just a short getting out. Is anyone shorting? There's no reason. Why would you be shorting this right now? There's no reason to be shorting this. You're going straight upside, above flow zones. You're back inside yesterday's value. You'll need to see volume trapped, all right? And the start of failures, you'll need to see like lower lows and then to leave volume trapped to really want to get short. It's an area of interest, but it's not a sell yet. All right, SOXL getting stuck at that 260. So that was the level. That's call wall 2. Now, ideally with SOXL, they pull right the way back to 250. They do a 10-point pullback, and then we can see how we act here. We haven't hit previous day low yet, folks. In this grey box. Remember, 420 is where the big buying started. What's that point control there? 60s. That last candle. Through that POC now on that last candle, through 60s. We should now go and make a new high. If it can hold 60s, it's a wiggle here. SOXL still just stuck at 260 here. We had a little wiggle, but it's still holding the print well. I don't think this is done yet. Do I think it can come to previous day value area low? It is possible, my friend. I can't rule it out. It's possible. Right the way up here. It's possible. Yeah, and it is absolutely possible. Cannot rule that out. Yeah. Cannot rule that out. And really, what I'm watching here is the H1. This is the hard thing right now. Right, this is where we failed from. This is still can be a sell. But if we reclaim that, we've now reclaimed current week. previous week, failure on under previous week, reclaimed current week. What we need to see is this build out here now, really. Still getting stuck at these 260s on SOXL. Nice to see software really catching a bid now, 0.75% up, which is great. Remember, 420 is where the big buying started, folks. So they can still bid that. All right, starting to see a little crack here. Sellers getting a bit more aggressive. I don't like that we haven't cleared out the highs, but SOXL pulling back off those 260s. If pops start to fail now, I'll consider the counter trend short down to 420s. What's that excess of the high like? Not great. Not great. Not convinced this is over. I was thinking about taking a short here. I'm not convinced this is over yet with that lack of excess at the high. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about the sell here. I thought about it and I'm like, no. I don't think it's ready. And I might be wrong, but I don't think it's ready. There's like the smallest amount of excess at 65. It might be that it comes down to 420 and then comes back for 65, but I don't think we are done printing higher at the moment. I really don't think we're done printing higher. I think this has still got more in it. So this is the first imbalance check. The buyers are caught at like, yeah, 64, 65. But there's not a lot. It is not a lot. And ES can hold that 75880 dip as well. SPY did hit that 756. It's amazing how different the gamma levels are between the futures and the ETFs today. Very, very, very different levels. Alex trade incoming. Well, I'm not in a trade, so it's kind of hard to be an Alex trade incoming. All right, well, we hit targets. 260 hit SOXL. 756 hit ES, SPY. We're pulling back now. 420 is still the level in my mind. It's where the big buying started. I'm somewhat surprised we know that this was a target, but I'm somewhat surprised we haven't completed this move up here. The thing that's put me off the sell is there's not much buy side excess at the high right now. And they're still protecting 420. There's the drive higher. I don't think this is ready. I think this has got to make another leg higher. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a pee because it's going to stop me over analyzing, and I'll be right back. Take a little break for a second. Okay. Yeah, still not that much excess up there. Failed to make a new high, but not that much excess up there still. Still think it wants to move higher first. Thanks for the gift. Very kind of you. Still think this wants to move higher. What I would say now is, though, this bid here, this blue line, is current week value area low. So at the moment, we are starting to hold back inside current week. All right, and like we said, if we go inside current week, it's failure. If we think about what's happened this morning, we're now seeing a failure to move inside previous week. So we're rejecting previous week. We're back above previous week, and we're now inside current week. So we've squeezed from previous week to current week. That squeeze there is from previous week value area high, where we based above, where Alex probably should have got long and didn't. There we go. Up to current week. This is previous day low. This is put wall 1. This might very well be the target all the way up there, folks. SOXL does keep getting stuck up here, but we know that's a very violent trader, but it is without a doubt getting stuck up here. Cannot get through those 260s. It's tried and it's struggling. I still think this wants to lift higher first, but there we go. That's me. I'll be more convinced if we leave more buyers trapped higher. The only buyers I see right now, the big boys, they're at 420 and 400, and they're in the money. The only big boy buyers, right? These, where is it? These guys here, right? These guys and these guys. We've just had one come in just now, as I've said that, but these guys, 420 and 400, that's what I'm watching. Right? These participants here, they're still in the money. Comfortably in the money, and we're also seeing absorption down here, 440 to 430 still being absorbed on the tape. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if there's big sellers. If there's big sellers and we're not moving lower, that should tell you something. Average daily range. I don't do average daily range based on anything like that, Willie. It's just not something I look at. All right, sellers coming in again here. They will need to break this low, and then I'll watch to see how we act at 420s. SOXL failing the 260s. Can still build out liquidity here. I'm still unconvinced that we are moving lower right now. Nothing to indicate to me at the moment that we're moving lower. What will be interesting is if SOXL comes back down to 250s and we base out here because of the strength in the mag, and SOXL then finds a bid at 250s, then they've rotated, pinned it, and then we'll look for higher prices. Can we get one more good trade here? Still unconvinced it's a sell. We are building out volume now, which is good. You can see this node starting to develop. So whether we use it now or later, this is good. Ideally, I would like to see that if I'm going to be a seller. I want to see this clear out. I don't like that. I don't like that we didn't hit the low. I don't like that we haven't come here or here. Don't like any of that. Will it take a long if it comes down to POC? Yeah, that's probably a decent option as long as it hasn't cleared out, right? If we walk down and start doing this, then yeah, that's probably a good place. That's where I was when we were here. It's what I was looking for there. Depends what the rest of the market's doing though. But yeah, it's an area of interest. Absolutely, it's an area of interest. Yeah, ES is still holding above the 880s. It is. It's still holding above. It's trying to get up towards 610s right now if it can get going. But SOXL's failed that 260s. But, you know, the market's not failing with it. Like I said, I wonder if they're going to pin this market here, fail SOXL, bid heavy on the mag to keep this market pinned, bid SOXL at 250, and then lift again. If they want it to be really nasty, that's what they'll do. That's what I would do if I was them. I'd trap all the sellers in here, not let them out, drift semis down, then let semis catch a bid, and then rip this thing higher. I had a long at 142 hit, didn't fill. Sad hit, didn't fill. What do you mean? 142 is miles away to the downside. News in 10 minutes. What news do you have in 10 minutes? Am I missing something? I don't see anything. Oh, Bank of England, you mean? Yeah, I don't care about that. Look at Marvell, ridiculous comeback. Well, it'll be running with the whole. Yeah. I mean, that's literally what we're seeing here. That's why I'm just watch one. It's the same, right? And we're into pivot. You can see this is the 260 level, cool wall. It's resistance. If they get over that, look what they've priced in today. It's amazing. You just wonder why. When we opened up this morning, I was like, why have they priced this in up there? That seems ridiculous, but maybe they had a plan. They had a plan. Okay, they're going to test this 420 player. Alex doesn't feel wholly comfortable here. Alex thinks it's going to go higher still. That might have been enough of a sweep under that low. I really want to see 420, 400 tested just to see if those players are there. Feel much better about bidding if they flush down and hold it. I don't think we're done making new highs, so. Where's that IB? Oh my god, it's so low. Yeah, it's got to come in for me to bid. I'll wait to see if we do like a little trap under here, basically. I'm looking to see if we can trap under here. If we're going to be bullish, because I don't think we finished the move, I want to see something like this. Or like this, or just in a quick wick. But I'm watching 420, 400. And I'm expecting buyers. If they're gonna turn up, they've got to trap sellers in here. And I don't think we've completed the move, so I want to see if we can get some form of trap long to complete this move up, because I don't think we finished it. I don't think we finished the longs yet. I don't think the auction at the high is that good. It's just whether it's going to give me the opportunity. If that wick was it, it's so slim pickings. If that was it, it's like what, 5-point wick? I don't think I want to trade that. There we go. Let's watch 420s, 400 here. Let's see what they do down here. SOXL failing up there. I just want to see it come down a bit lower. Can we come to 420s, 400, and then see if they want to absorb the tape? And that might have been it. They just trapped there at 26s. Not seeing what I want. Come on, come lower, come lower, come lower. I want to see sellers get trapped. Come lower. They keep trapping you at 26s. I want it under that first and then bid. So much liquidity down to 400. They've trapped again there. I'll need a flush down first, but if it doesn't give it to me and we start to base above 445, it's going to force me to join long. I actually want to join at 420 to 410 for a flush and hold. But we've just come below that volume, so if we start printing above this now, it's going to force me to join long. And I wanted to buy the dip, but there we go. Here it comes. Buyer's coming in here aggressive. Don't want to buy with him. Need to see acceleration from him. All right, I'm starting small here. So I don't think we finished moving up. Wiggle on the tape. Here we go. I want to see us base above 36s now. We've done that little wiggle I just talked about. I would have preferred it to come lower. I don't want it under 36s. Ideally, we just hold 40s and then we move up to high of day. If we can't hold 36s, I cut. Not giving it room here. Trying to play long for the upside if they're willing to trap. If they haven't trapped enough, they're going to come to 420, 410s. You're going to take my stop now, aren't you? Yep. Okay, break even there. Alex trade coming up. You just wonder. Yep. All right, I'll have another go at it if we trap at 420, 410s, not before. Need this lower now. Need it 420, 410s and trap. Don't think the auction at the high is done. I think we're going to move higher. It's just a question of when. Oh, God. Can you flush it out, trap them, and then let me in, please? I want to bid here. I've already had a go at this once. How long we got left? 20 minutes. A lot of big buying up here. Back above 45 again, I guess I will have to consider it. I don't really want to consider that. I'd much rather it comes lower first, but probably have to consider it if they start to print up. Still not getting above that 45. The reason I'm saying that is there's three lots of buyers around that, sort of between 40 and 45. So a buck above them, they get in the money, and then be a sign of strength for a new high of day. Such a wiggle around here right now. All right, I'm gonna have to watch this if we're gonna hold this print. No, rejection 45 again. What are you doing, man? Having another go. You can see how important this 45 is. Bid's coming in now. They're trying to support the bid at 40 now. Still not in. I'm getting frustrated now. You can hear it in my voice. I'm getting frustrated because we didn't get the move to 20s or 400s. So it's making me join late. I've already taken one stop out on it. And I'm iffy about joining. See this 45? We are stuck at 45s. Look at this box here. This is it right here. I would much rather a trap below. We've done it twice. If we can't get this trap below now, we need a base above and go. And then we'll see new highs if we can base above and go. It's trying. It's trying. We're buying high to go higher. We're just trying to use the momentum right now and the trap participants. It's not ideal. It is less than ideal. If they vacate the box, we're going to go 420, 400. So still waiting. So not above the grey box, not below it. If we vacate this, we're probably coming down into here somewhere. Okay, here's the test of maybe towards 420 if we get lucky. Absorbing there again. More absorption there again. So they're not getting us to 420 and they're not getting break above 445 right now. Bias is still upside. It's just, can they trap enough? ES coming back down to test that 580. Oh, what to do, what to do, what to do? Where are you going to trap, market? Where are you going to trap? SOXL needs to hold this print and bid up now. Feels very sketchy here to me into lunch. How long we got? I'm almost considering not taking this trade. I want one more winner if I can. Duke, there's no buyers trapped up here, mate. So far, the biggest delta in this tape here is sellers trapped at 36 to 26. All right, and the buyers are comfortable. The big buying, remember, came in at 420 and 400. So calling for a big flush here. There's nothing on the tape to suggest we're going to do that yet. You start moving underneath all those players I've just talked about, we can talk about a big flush, but there's no buyer caught right now. Do you see any buyer out the money right now? In the money, in the money, in the money, in the money, in the money. Where are the shorts? Out the money, 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 out the money. Momentum's upside, buyers are in control. It just depends if they need to trap more sellers or not. Again, I don't really want to buy up here. I want to see it flush to 420, 400, trap sellers, and then rip back up. That's where I'd feel more comfortable. There's an imbalance down at 400 as well. Again, do you know, like I always say, it doesn't matter what we think. All that matters is what's on the market. I'm telling you what's on the market, what's happening. It doesn't matter what I think. Market doesn't care about what I think. I'm a stupid old man sat at home watching a computer. Right? What I think is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is what's happened. You feel better at 370. What, the IB retest? I mean, I feel even better down here, yeah. But that's too deep for a trap, right? Understand, if we're going to trap, we have to trap in here. And really, you'd want that. If they reject this, that's a big sell. That's not a trap then, in here. So here comes 420 and 400 test. And let's see if they trap here. Waiting to see if there's a response. Not just bidding this because we're here. Waiting to see if there's a response. That's your first response. We haven't reclaimed that grey box yet. So it can still be a sell versus that grey box lower time frame. ES trying to hold that 880s we talked about. 880s, 580s, sorry. Okay, here's the 420. Remember, this level and 400 matters right now. This is the big buyer that was here. Is he still going to bid or not? The moment he's trying, we would need to see a reclaim of this range up above us now. If they can't reclaim the range, sellers can potentially take control for a bigger swipe down. So there's a difference between what we talked about here and what we're seeing here now. A little bit of absorption here. We haven't come deep enough yet. ES holding that 580 level. Q's pulling back in. Oh, SOXL pulling right back down. So it might come to that 250 level SOXL we talked about. It might need to retest that way back down to that RBS zone. Here's the 400. And if they let go of this, then I would be in an agreement with you that buyers are then out of position, right? For the first time, I'd say all the buyers since 1108 would be out of position if we start moving under 400, right? So 400 to 420 key. We didn't finish the auction on that last candle, which is kind of gross. Here's the 420 retest, so 400 to 420. If we start to base and bid, I'll consider the long, but I don't like that last candle, the one before the one we're in right now, because we've left a flat low. So it's not really ideal. It says to me that we probably want to move lower first. Into here. That's what I'm watching, into here. These players here is what I'm watching. Do they absorb the tape here? Does SOXL want to come all the way down to 50s? Did we go wick to wick H1? No, we didn't. We just missed it. Still waiting. I need to see a trap and absorption if I'm going to play long. Otherwise, I'm not going to play it. Right, SOXL coming back down towards these 250s. This is going to be the important level. So now I'd say under 400, I can't remember your name who said buyers are caught. Now we have buyers caught. Every buyer now from that 1108 candle and above is now underwater. That's the first time we've had it. That auction at high day was so shit, but we have vacated this box. And we can come, if they keep selling, we can come right way back down and in. SOXL coming for that 250. That would be the important over-under, I would say, if they hold 250 or not. Because that's now your RBS zone. So this would be your pullback to hold after that W. If they can't hold it, oh, I'd be scared for this market. I would be scared for this market if they can't hold that. $250 is coming up here. Bit of front running in front of it right now. There we go. IB high, still selling this. 250 test coming up right now on SOXL. This is the important level. If they flush this and lose it, this thing's going to continue to puke. So if this was a squeeze out and they're not willing to bid up anymore today, this thing will continue to puke. It's a big rejection on the H1 now as well. So there's no trap. The trap would needed to have lived into 400. This is not a trap now. This is a wash back down to where we've last built out liquidity. All right, this is a wash back down to where we've last built out liquidity. The trap would have had to been into here, all right, because of where the buyers were. They were unwilling to trap. They've lost the bid, and we've come back down to IB, and we can now travel down into this high volume node if they really want to. 250 has just been tagged on SOXL, and that's your over under. If they lose that bid, well, I'd be somewhat concerned for this market. The biggest win was not taking trades, yeah. I mean, probably the same for me here. I don't think we finished the high. I don't think the auction at the high is very good. There's not that much buying trapped up there. There's very light buying caught at 67s. But we will just have to see. We'll have to see. Little bid on 250 there. Yeah, still pulling back in. Tesla, the weak one now. Under that 420, 1.5% down. Rest of the market holding up well. Feels like a very options-led market at the moment. If you look at the GEX on semis and SPY, they're very accurate of where we're hitting. If you look at that 756 call or one on SPY, up into it, failed. Pulling back down now, probably comes and tests towards IB, previous day close, and under it is the high volume 754. Lose that, you lose the bid altogether. I'm still waiting here. There's your IB. Not seeing any big bids come in here before lunch. That is a big H1 rejection as well. It's a big H1 rejection. Nice Tyson trade. Or the expansion. Yeah, did you take it? The expansion was good. Did we hit the targets there? Probably did. What are you doing? Yeah, really nice. 1.5. Very, very good. Right, there's the bid off IB. There's the bid off 250. Right, if we start to hold this bid now, it's going to perk my interest. There's previous week close, 405s. Strong bid off 250 there. SOXL, like we talked about. That's what we're going to watch as the over-under. There's not that much excess again at the lows either. A buy got caught at 400, so I'll see if we accelerate over that and hold. They're still trying to sell it up there. $580 retest here. ES as well. It's a big pullback. All right, 400s. Seller here on the deck at 400s. No real strong bids until we get to 60s right now. And again, I don't think the excess looks great. Oh, man. Where was that big seller earlier? 69. Okay. So he's still out the money. Big buyer coming there at 400 again. This is where he last got trapped. So if we hold a bid over this, maybe I'll consider it. I really want to see acceleration, pull back, higher, low, and then we can go. There we go. Big bid off 250. Look at that. 4.5 point bid off 250 on SOXL. So can we set a higher low now? Is the question. And that last big buy came in at 400. And then 74. I wouldn't mind if it flushes to 74 and bids there. All right, I'm long. Small size. I'll try and give it some wiggle room. That was a good hold, that 400. We need to accelerate away from this now. I don't want to de-risk. Ugh. Come on, stop wiggling me. I don't want it under 400. There's a little imbalance there. Out. Not holding that. And then I'll reload at 375 if it wants to come down there and holds the print. I was trying to use that buyer and he just left the tape. All right, let's watch 375 if they're willing to hold that. If they break under that, I'm not interested in any longs at all today because momentum's starting to shift now. Trying to play the trap to finish the auction at the high. And might run out of time. 5 minutes. Ugh. Might run out of time. ES now getting stuck at that 580s as well. I want to see that accelerate away. We still haven't completed the auction at the high, so if it's just knocked me out again, Have you just knocked me out again? Oh. I'm hands off. I'm hands off for a minute. Right, this low volume node is being protected. All right, what I would say is there is a seller. The start of the seller's court is right here. You can see him here, basically a 200 lot, which he probably got out as we came back in, 70s. Right, under him, it's all sell side. What now is the problem? What I wanted was these buyers to be protected, and what I was looking for is there a way of doing it? Or what I was looking for is, which we didn't trade because it didn't come, rather than the sell, I wanted to drift back down towards here and see that. All right, that would be the trap. We're not at a trap level now. Oh, I've lost my mouse. All right, we're not at a trap level now. We're well below that. We now officially have buyers. One of you was talking about the buyers being stuck. We now officially have buyers stuck. We have this cluster and these clusters on the way up who are now stuck. So it makes trading this a little bit harder for me to try and play the momentum in the chart. Flow zones are starting to turn. There's still a chance here. I don't think this high's in. I do not think high of day is in. So there's still a chance to see this and clean out. If they don't want to do it over lunch though, and they're going to leave these players stuck, we come right back down into this, and this is my no trade zone. It's just one of those. I think we tried. Can I demonstrate a bid rebid? Well, not really. You'd have to see it on the book. Back to these 400s again. So under over 580 key ES, 400 for us right now, key. SOXL still trying to bid, found a bid at those 250s. Remember what I said, this might come right the way back into 250s from those 260s. Exactly what happened. Came right the way back in and it's trying to bid. All right, you'll see it. There's your 250, there's your 260, and then now trying to bid this back up. Oh, it's gone without me. Right, Alex is done trading for the day. Tilt has officially hit. Can feel it in me. Everything I wanted now happening. Got caught teaching, didn't he? Yes, he did. He got caught teaching. Missed the trade. You prick, Alex. Okay, your TP1 is this grey box above and current week value area low. The tilt is real. The tilt is real. All right, we were long here. That's your TP1, and then it's up here. Like I said, I don't think the auction at high day is finished. Don't think this feeling ever goes away, all right? This tilt is real. It stays with you, mate. It doesn't matter how good you get at trading. Tilt stays with you. It never, ever, ever, ever leaves. The only difference is you get to my experience and you go, Alex is done trading, because you understand the tilt is now in you. Oh, my days. Oh, my days. Well, I really hope you get a new high of day here in a rip. I really hope you get it. But you should TP some out here into this blue line and box. All right. The reason being, this is current week value area low. You might not get acceptance up on there. But if you do find acceptance here, then you're going to rip higher, because that will mean we're going to go back inside current week value. All right. If we reject here, there is an argument for the trade back down, but I think Alex is done. I think Alex is done now. How frustrating. And what we're seeing now, to make you understand this, is the market's going to have to make a decision about higher time frame right now. Yeah, so if I take you over to the hourly, in fact, let's just start at the daily. Okay, daily, what do we talk about? This is our big RBS zone. This is the 20-day. We expect a higher, God, that's an awful H, isn't it? A higher low to be made on a daily. All right, so we hit the top bowl or got near it. We expect anywhere in here, a higher low to be made for continuation. If we don't make a higher low, all right, then we're going to go into a rotation, and then we're going to either do one of these or one of these. Okay, but we expect the higher time frame trend is still overall bullish. As we go into the hourly, it's bigger for you. Right, this is our peak formation. This is where we were short yesterday. All right, so this is where buyers are stuck here. Previous day value area high, basically. It's where big buyers are stuck. You have more buyers stuck at previous day value area low. Right here. Because anyone who bought this bid, think about these wicks, any buyer there is now a seller here, right? So the best short opportunities were here and here to get to where? To get to here, which we hit. And we said anywhere in here, we expect higher time frame buyers to step up. Because if we think about this, if we just think about the big trend, clean this up a minute. Big trend would be something like this, right? Right, that can continue. The tricky part about this now is the battle here now, because big buyers will need to find acceptance above all of this. Lower time frame sellers or bears will be wanting to reject current week value area low and these nodes, right? So bears in the market are trying to get this move here. Buyers in the market have protected this, right? We got very close. Look at this zone here. We got very, very close. Buyers in the market protected this. This is now the battle zone between higher time frame and lower time frame to make the decision. All right, liquidity build. Are we going to see this, or are we going to see this? It's why it's going to start to get harder and harder for the rest of the week all the time we're in here. But what I would say, it's very clear and evident that we are not accepting price currently into previous week value or value area, and we're potentially, I'm zooming this in, where is it? You can see it here. Oh no, current week, sorry, here. We can potentially try and find acceptance back inside current week value. That's the battle right now taking place. Hope it makes sense for you guys. I'm humble when I'm wrong. Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about it earlier, right? The market can do whatever it wants. Our job when we're wrong is to understand we're wrong as quickly as possible. Yeah, everyone can talk about a good stop is a fast stop or any of these things, or let your winners run and cut your losses quickly. What does that actually mean? Don't let the ego get in the way of you. Trade the plan. Don't deviate from that plan, right? So you just hit TP here, this gray box, right? That was the plan. That's the easy long. I didn't trade here. I looked for the acceleration back through here to get to there, right? That's your TP1. It can fail here because we now have buyers stuck up here, right? We have buyers stuck up there. So if they fail here, we'll come and fill in some of this. If they find acceptance back through this, we will make new highs of the day, because I don't think the auction here is very good. I think it's a shit auction. Again, what's making this harder than anything else is the importance of this right now. And these are moving fast. This. Unfortunately, I was watching this on a 5 and it just looked straight up. There we go. Breakout, pullback, 250 hold, 260 balance. Over here, cool wall, way higher with gap fill. If they do that, market rips. If they lose this, failed auction, back downside, NQ pukes. It is literally all about this right now. It is all about this, and it has been all about that for a long time. What we've seen today, though, is these semis, which is what I just showed you, selling and a rotation into mag, which is what's making this hard. What we're not seeing is a risk off day. If semis were selling and Google and Meta and Amazon and Netflix and software was all selling, you know, if we were in alignment, if all of this side of the market, okay, not financials, we don't need to worry about that. If these sectors were all red, we'd be in a massive puke, right? The Qs would be absolutely dumping. Here it goes. This thing's going to fucking rip for you. Not salty at all. I am not salty at all. I'm absolutely fine. Nothing matters. Alex is fine. He's not on tilt or salty at all about this trade going without him. Can I explain what I mean by shit auction? Yeah, I can. All right. See this at the high? When we talk about trap buyers, that is next to nothing. All right. If we look at the delta over here, this blue stuff here, there's not a lot of delta caught up there. Now, why was I so adamant on talking about, like, I think we can move higher, I think we can move higher? A good auction will leave a lot of trap. But if we had all these big bubbles up here and we moved away from it, it's different. But we're not seeing that. What we're seeing, I get rid of that, that's awful. What we're seeing is the market needed to come back to its retest level, which is further than I would have liked, because what I would have liked is sellers to have got caught where? Here. I want sellers caught. I want sellers trying to sell against where I know buyers have been. 420 to 400. We came a little bit deeper. We've reclaimed it now. Now we can go upside. Now, if we let all these buyers out, remember these buyers are in pain. If we let these buyers out, we're going to make new highs. Why? No one's stuck at the high. The only guys that are stuck are here, right? So if we start breaking 445, 450, remember when I said 445? We start bidding above 445, we're going to make new highs, because there's no one stuck at the high. This auction up here is not very good. We don't have like a giant wick up here with excess buyers. Now, if I show you that on Bookmap, and again, the caveat is market does what it wants. It doesn't have to do these things, but these are the things I look for. If I show you that on Bookmap, when we were last up here, right, these are the guys that are stuck. This is not a whole lot of excess. All right, we came up, we trapped, I don't know, a couple hundred lots excess. Strong selling, very, very aggressive, moved down, absorbed, right? And you can see the 45 level we just talked about, right? So if we do this, there's 45 here, right? This is the level. All right, buyers kept trying to reclaim 45, hold 20s. Where's the 20s? This is why we're watching 20s and 10s. Here's the 20s. Okay. Zoom this out a second. Big buyers came in here. Big sellers tried to sell from through 420s, failed to sell through 420s. We found a bid, very small excess, came back down, held a higher low, found a bid, failed the high. First sign that buyers have got failed. Then we do this chop in here, 420s to 445s, right? We can make this big. 420s, move this up a bit, can't move it, to 445. Once we failed 420s, we get that flush back down. That's where they needed to hold. Why did they need to hold that? It's where the seller got stuck, right? It's where the sellers are stuck above. They sell that, come back down, we get a deep wash. Where do we come into? Where we last found a bid out. Breakout retest, right? Let me zoom this out. Hopefully you can see all this. Breakout, retest, higher low, higher low, higher low. You're through this 45. Think about this as a horizontal line. You're through this now. There's not much liquidity at the highs, and I would expect this thing to move higher now. Would expect it to move higher. Lots of you guys posting your W's. Nice. Yeah, as long as you paid yourself up here, it's a good trade. The course giveaway, yes. Do we have enough likes? We do. All right, awesome. All right, it's just the introduction to trading investing. Just type course once in chat. You're in the long, nice. As long as you paid yourself, you know, we can still see failures. ES new high of day, by the way. So ES has repaired that high. So ES also had a shit high, and ES has now repaired that high. Look how much better the trap was on ES. So this is what I'm talking about. That is beautiful, right? Didn't need to retest here. That is beautiful. There's the trap. That's what I wanted to see on the Qs. Just had to come deeper on the Qs because it's a pain in my butt. That's what that's what I wanted to see on the Qs. You're at that grey box now, and if you find acceptance over this, new highs. As long as you paid yourself some, I think you get new highs. NQ loves to overshoot. Pierre, you are spot on, my friend. It does. It absolutely loves to do it. It's a liquidity whore. It likes to take Alex's stops, frustrate Alex out the market, and then do the move. It does it every day to me. But all that matters is that we manage our risk, protect our risk, pay ourselves some money, end the day green, or if we have a really bad day, end the day red, but make sure it's a manageable red day. But we're green again today. Green again today. Can you see, though, I mean, why I try to ignore all of this, right? Once we hit the low-hanging fruit, I ignore all of this, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but the market comes to life once we move out of balance, right? Balance, chop, out of balance, trend. Much better. For me, as a momentum trader, much better. And the reason I didn't take the short there, lots of you would be saying, you'd normally take the short there. I know. The reason being is this was a poor high. The market feels like it wants to move higher now because we're moving away from this and we've reclaimed. So the pro trend, right, becomes this. So that would be the counter trend. This is the pro trend. And what do I try and do? I try and fixate on the pro trend. How do we know it's pro trend? Well, other than the H1 pivot, other than everything else, look, we're back above previous week value area high. We're back above current value area high. We're back above IB. All right, so we're in expansion mode. Expansion mode. So I try and ignore this and focus on expansion mode. All right, please stop spamming. You guys, spamming just got pulled out. It's silly to do that. All right, let's pick this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Mr. Jamrock 9962. You are the winner of today's course. Let me know you're here in chat, my friend. When would I add to these longs? I wouldn't. I would not add to these longs now. You would need to find acceptance into previous days value area low for me to be really thinking about adding to longs. I'd be taking profits and holding on. Congrats. Okay, Mr. Jamrock, email me please, my friend. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube so I know it's you. And I will send you an introduction to trading course. All right. How are we doing for time? We're through it all. I think that's it, folks. You guys should be aware of what we're looking at. I'll set you up for the rest of the day before we go. So as a reminder, what we're seeing, failure to come into previous week's value. What we're seeing is potentially, it's a bit early to say, a reclaim of current week's value with a maximum drive, I would say, of up into this red block. This is where, if I was going to defend this with all my vigor and might, and I was a market maker, I'd be looking to sell that point anywhere up there. Because even if I sold that, right, if we think about this, what I'd be expecting, even if I sold that and it was just a pullback, would be this move. All right, so there's still money to be made for a sell from here. And then the decision point from here will be, do they hold this and come back inside value? Or alternatively, do they reject this, start coming back under here again for a deeper move tomorrow? At the moment, we don't know. We have to wait for it to make a decision. Hopefully this afternoon we do that, and overnight, and then tomorrow we can look for this or this, because we can build out liquidity to use it. Hopefully we don't just do a unidirectional move for me to come back to the market like it did overnight. All right, team. Any questions before I go? I'll be looking for 500. Yeah, I mean, you'll put, look, previous day low, right? This previous day low's here. This is the unfinished auction. I think we will take that out, right? So if we take that out, you should have already paid yourself into here, right? You can try and pay yourself into towards 70s and 80s. 95 is the put wall. 500 is the whole number. Over that, squeeze up to 75, previous day value very low. I do not expect this market to come above here today. The maximum move I would expect today is to here. If for some reason it went mental turbo, you'll get a gap fill, which is also point of control. I don't think so. I think you're long, right? You're long from here, or some of you miraculously somehow bought long down here. And we said, like, hold runners, see if you get this block and this block. It's been the same targets all day off the lows. So, you know, as long as you've paid yourself, I'll be looking for TP, done with it at that point. I doubt you come up here. You never know, but your money's going to be made. You're long from here. So 100 points, maybe even a 200 point or 175 point trade. That's it. Don't be looking for more than that. I'm already married, I'm afraid. 8 years as of two days ago. K's in trading, I only got 2 contracts on. Should have loaded the boat. Nah, you're good. We always say that, right? When the trade goes our direction, you always think, I wish I had more size on. When it goes against you, you always think I wasn't in it. It's always, it's always going to be the case. So if you put a number on how much size do you need to see trapped to go risk on, it's relative to what we see on the day. It's not so much the size, it's more about what happens afterwards, right? But I'd say like a good few hundred at least, reloading at the same level. And it's more about, unless you're talking about like a big drive up and straight squeeze, and we leave a wick here and we leave like a good few hundred lots at least with a long wick and a move away. We don't have a long wick here, you see. It's flat. So I think it would get repaired. I think that auction's terrible. I think we will come straight through that. That's what I was saying. Look how flat this is. There's no excess. 1 wick, 2 wick, 3 wicks, right? It's not like this wick is up here with a blow off top with buyers caught up there. We don't have that, which is why I think this is going to get taken out. It's why my bias was trap and go. They just came deeper. I read it right. It just came deeper than I thought it would have. ES didn't. ES was beautiful. ES did this exact move. It was really good on ES. So it's more about where the trap is, where the extension is, who's inside that, what happens next. So if, for example, now you come up and you see like a long wick and buyers caught and failure to get back above, that's a good indication that market's exhausted. What about ES before I leave? Well, ES has already done the move, my friend. All right, so we just ran all the liquidity out. If you look at, you're just holding on now. So we just ran the stops here, and it's not just from here. If you look left, you will see them same level, right? Look at that. This is dreamboat scenario. Look at that. All right, sellers come in, very, very silly. Short sellers come in here. What do we have here? Liquidity build out here with a trap. Where's the trap? Here it is. Here's the shelf. Dunk under. Sellers come back in. Reclaim the shelf. Expansion. Right. All dips now that hold this. You can see what they're looking for. So you can think about whole number. This is previous week close. Right. So 95. Through that whole number 600. Through that cool wall is right up here at 610. Do I think it can go there? I don't know. It's going to depend on this liquidity here. So if they can get over previous week close, that is available for a squeeze. But you know, you should have been long here, and you're de-risking now, right? And you're holding your core position, and you can just see if it wants to continue to go. But the damage has been done. This is what we wanted on the NQ. That is very nice. Thanks, mate. Cheers. Right, breakout of highs. We don't have that on NQ yet. It hasn't broken out the highs. It's coming. We came deeper, grind back up, breakout of highs. This is coming here. Alex, I just got eligible for my first payout this week. Your patience helped me get there, and I've stopped blowing accounts. Nice work, man. Did she remember the anniversary? She did. Yeah, she did. It's funny. We both thought we'd forgotten. Each other had forgotten. Neither of us had. Do I broadcast in the evenings? I do not. I'm British, mate. I'm a Londoner, innit? Bruv. Ting. Helped me a lot since watching you. I learned years about fundamentals, TA, price action, and the last few months order flow. Finally, with you, stopped losing money. Can you please, after trade, just say your entry and stop loss? Not even rising to that. How do I feel about these upcoming IPOs being considered rug pulls? I think as long as they're transparent about the lockout schedule, it's fair game. I mean, Elon came out yesterday saying he's going to be in it for over a year. There's your high day break. Over a year. The bigger problem is going to be, where's the bid coming from? Who's got the money to bid these up? And if they're floating as $1 trillion company, you know, if you get Anthropic and SpaceX coming on the market worth trillions of dollars, who's going to be able to prop it up? That's my question. Where's the money coming from? It's got to come from somewhere. We don't have endless funds in the world. Hit my buffer on TPTs for the first time. I'm going to pull out 3K tomorrow, baby. Woohoo. Thank you, brother. Nice. Great work. That's what I love to hear. Taught you a lot, Loki. That's good to hear. Good to hear. I'm going to laminate the word tilt, paste it on my desk whenever I mess up, look at it and just walk away. That's it. Like you would have seen me. My biggest tilt does not come from losers. You'll see me stop out of losers all the time. My biggest tilt, all right, comes from when I'm right and I don't give it breadth, or I get washed out, or I have a few attempts at something and then it starts going. All right. And then I know if I am tilty here because it starts going and I add in aggressively, because emotion takes over and it doesn't go my way, that's when things go horribly wrong. It has gone my way. This is exactly what we talked about. You're about to hit your target here and here. So I'll stay with you just for a couple seconds while this happens. So TP 500, and then anything above that is magnificent for you guys. And that's another 100-point trade, basically, guys. All right, the reclaim of 400. Once the buyers got back in control, that'll be another 100-point trade. That is your third 100-point trade with me today. Here it goes. There's the acceleration. All the shorts getting clapped now. This is what we talked about. Once again, thank you, brother. You helped open my eyes to some of the mechanics of the market that I was blind to before. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that coffee tip. Very kind. Greatest thing that ever happened to me was choosing to listen to you, Alex, and I choose to learn instead of assuming. There you go. There you go. It's very easy, you know. I'm trying to think how to put this. It is so easy, all right, to lose sight of what trading is. It's so easy. It's so easy to get zoomed into an M1. It's so easy to get arrogant. And again, we went over this earlier with like Bitcoin. You've seen it in real time with me today. If we get complacent, if we become arrogant, the market will punish us. All right, just remember that. If you get complacent or arrogant, or you fight what the market's doing, it's going to punish you. You can, all right, this is the hardest lesson to learn. You can be right and still get hurt, and you can be wrong and still get paid. I would rather be right and get hurt and take a stop than be wrong and get paid. Because eventually, if I'm wrong, if I'm doing something wrong and getting paid, I'm going to lose my whole account. All right. So the best thing to do is remember, you can always stop out of the market. All you're doing is deciding whether you want to be in a trade or out of a trade. You can always stop out, because you know what? Once you stop out, you have breath of fresh air. You think clearly. You can always get back in. Where people get in trouble is they don't stop out. They're unwilling to take the stop, and that pollutes everything in their mind. Why doesn't translate work on YouTube? Because I'm using OBS and there's no way around it. I'm sorry, my friend. All right, so there's the high of day clear out. You're coming in towards the 500s now. You want to be locking in your money. There's still liquidity up here at 500 and through that 550s basically. So 500 is your target, and then runners up to 550, 575. Alex, you missed the advance today. Why did we not take that? What do you mean the advance? I don't know what you're talking about. Does my strategy work for gold and futures during Asian hours? My friend, my strategy is just how the market operates. It works for absolutely anything on absolutely any time frame, because all markets work the same way. Believe it or not, all markets work the same way. It's just buyers and sellers either agreeing on price or not agreeing on price. The only difference between the market that you choose to trade, whether it be futures, gold, copper, Tesla, small caps, large caps, is the personality of that market. That's the only difference. Everything else is the same. They respect RBS levels. They're based on liquidity. They search for liquidity. They create liquidity, then they abuse liquidity. Nothing changes. Zero changes. It's just the personality of that market. PSG troll here. Thanks, mate. Thanks for today, buddy, from Guildford, UK. Yeah, big up Guildford, massive. Hope you're good, man. It's been a while since I've been there. I used to go there, to go to a skate shop there when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, a long time ago. Great advice. My best trades last week were both losers. Few people understand that. Yeah, there you go. A good loser is a good trade. Have to reward yourself from that. Alex, you caught it from the open to low, but you didn't pick up the low from there. Why did you not take the trade? Because we hadn't reclaimed anything at that point. All right, so it's very easy for everyone to go in hindsight, oh, this is a easy long. Right, some of you have got long down here. My argument would be, why? Why is that an easy long? We're under the New York Open. We're under previous week's value area high. We're under current week's value area high. All we're seeing down there is an area of interest for the whales to bid on, right? But I'm not a whale. So I need to see them come and bid in the market and then join, right? I need to see them come and bid on the market and then join. So if we think about, right, where we've just said the whales can join, right? That's the boxed in area. I'll go to the lower time frame. Right, once we reclaim this, right, that's the boxed in area I just drew. There's potential for the higher time frame move back up. You can argue there's a bid in here. You out? Love you. See you later. That you can argue there's a bid in here. What do we have in here? High volume node. What did we talk about? Good chance that they protect this. Why didn't I like that? Because the range for the day, if I'm bidding here, where's my edge? I've got to risk this or risk this to get that. My RR is skewed, isn't it? If I'm long here, having to risk this just to get this, it's a skewed RR. I don't want to do that, even though I understand there's a good chance it moves higher. So what did I wait for? I wanted the market to do this and this. It didn't do it. So I missed it. Didn't give me what I wanted, so I missed it. We get the drive up. I wait for it to build out the liquidity. I want the trap long back. Doesn't do it. Comes deeper. I have 2 attempts. Failed to get what I wanted. Stop out. It's not like I didn't see it or didn't trade it. But if you're trading this back up, I would say to you, why? I understand it's a key level. Why? What are you trading here? Like, momentum's down. You're underneath all key levels. Today you got lucky. Tomorrow you might not get so lucky. I'd rather stick to my rules. All right. That be me. that be me. I think that's a good lesson, right? Some good lessons there at the end. Naked pivot was retested. No, not for me. It was naked pivot for me is point of control, which is 29,975. We didn't even hit the shelf, which is just above it. All right. The buy indicators look as if they were accurate. Yeah, well, these are my flow zones. They're based on momentum. I probably jumped the gun and didn't wait for it. And there we go. Thanks for today, Alex. 350 points in total, all repeatable trade setups. That's all that matters. Repeatable trade setups. Oh my God, user. I have buy indicators on my chart that I did not trade. No. You see them as buys. I see them as momentum, right? They're showing me momentum. Where buyers are stepping in the market, where sellers are stepping in the market, where buyers are stepping in the market, right? I don't buy just because something on the screen says buy. How about this? I tell you guys, buy now, go. Full send because I said it. Or are you going to use your own brain? It's exactly the same. It's showing you momentum on the chart. I'm not going to do it just because of momentum on the chart. All right, guys. That's me done. I'm going to take a break. I need to eat some food, get in the gym, all the good stuff. Thanks for joining today. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you made some money. I mean, we're acting like it was a bad day. We caught well over 200 points together. You guys probably caught even more than that, 300 plus points. All right. Happy days, right? Green days are good days. We'll take them. Peace and love. You guys are all really good. What am I going to eat? Probably some eggs. It's early in the morning for me. Need some protein. It's only 9:30 here. Peace and love, everyone. Trade safe. Use hard stops. Remember, I'm sure you're going to get news circulating on Iran and all this stuff, and it's going to be a matter of minutes until Trump opens his mouth. So be careful with that, everyone. Love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Remember, get here early. Get here at 9:15 market time, because that's when I do all the pre-market analysis. You guys that come in at 10 o'clock, watch your trade idea for the day, you've already missed it. Peace and love. Use hard stops, all that good stuff. I'll see you real soon.